Sienna stayed quiet. This was a mess she didn't see coming. Fine, she said. I hear you. Maybe I was a bit too fast with this announcement. We'll hold off and make a final decision after the next faculty meeting, she conceded. The big bully started smirking, thinking he'd won. Meanwhile, Jen was staring out the window, wondering why the hell these kids were acting so triggered. She knew it wasn't just about fairness. There was some deep, nasty, emotional stuff bubbling under the surface here. Right then, a girl named Maria walked into the office looking for Sienna. What is it, Maria? Sienna asked. Maria hesitated, then whispered, I have to tell you about what's been happening. Maria started spilling everything, going back to a week ago. At first, she said, we all just acted like Siron didn't exist. Sienna remembered how lonely Siron always looked. But Maria continued, a few days ago, it turned into straight-up public bullying and trash-talking. She looked down at her hands, her voice trembling. They started dumping trash all over his desk and wouldn't even let him study in peace. Then the tears started falling. I saw it all, ma'am. I saw how he just sat there and took the fake rumors and the constant attacks from everyone. It was horrible. The way those punks are ganging up on him is just straight-up trash. Maria's sobbing so hard her whole body is shaking, and Sienna finally sees the ugly truth of it all. She's got that I'm about to end someone's career look on her face. After a beat, she tells her, thanks, Maria, you've done enough. Leave the rest to me. So, check this. In that famous book about genius students, this big-brain physiologist named Toyne drops some serious wisdom. Toyne says humans should ideally get at least 6 hours of shut-eye a day. Then he sighs, even though I only pulled 4 hours a night during my entire time as a student. The interviewer's like, wait, isn't that a total contradiction to what you just said? Like, how do you sleep only 4 hours and still become a legend? Toyne just points and goes, listen, teenagers aren't just humans, they're straight-up superhumans. Sleep, no sleep, doesn't matter what they do. Nothing can touch them. The clock hits 12. Siron leans back, letting out a heavy sigh. He looks around, but the place is a total ghost town. Is it seriously that late already? As he passes a classmate leaving the library, Siron gives a polite little nod. And lucky for him, she actually has some manners and nods back. Siron walks alone across the dark campus under a sharp crescent moon. He remembers what Temura told him. Kirchu, once you're in that magic academy, 1,000,000 nobles are gonna look down on you, but you gotta eat that dirt. If you can just endure until the very end, you'll be the one reaping all the rewards. Siron looks up at the sky, thinking, I got this. I'm definitely gonna make it. He's doing it for everyone who actually put their money on him. Professor Lote can bring whatever he wants. Siron stares at the moon. He doesn't care who tries to block his path. He's becoming a mage. Period. Back at the dorm, 3rd floor. Our boy just finished a shower and is feeling fresh. Suddenly, knock, knock. He freezes. Who the hell is knocking at more than 1 in the morning? He's half expecting those Class 7 bullies again. Is it them? But then a voice calls through the door. Siron, you got a second? He opens it and boom, it's her. She asks if she can come in, and Siron's frantically nodding. Yeah, of course. He's all awkward and nervous as he pours her some tea. Tea, Professor? Sienna's like, nah, I'm good. I tried to catch you earlier, but you were MIA. Sorry for crashing so late. She looks at his desk and oh, now she gets it. Sienna realized something was weird the first time she saw his grades. His scores were low, sure, but they were all exactly the same across every single subject. She finally sees the game he's playing. He's not failing, he's building a massive foundation in every field at once instead of just chasing quick wins. He's studying for the future. It's not that he can't do magic, it's that he's choosing to wait. But why go this hard right now? She looks at him, wondering if it's because he never got to be a normal student as a kid. Siron's sitting there all stiff and proper, thinking, man, this is so incredibly awkward. Since it's not class time, the vibes are different. Siron's dying of embarrassment while Sienna is scanning him like a hawk. In class, he's always locked in, but here, he's clearly a shy bean. She finally asks, School's been pretty rough, hasn't it? Siren nods. Yeah, but it's fun. Honestly, learning is a total blast. Sienna gets real. I heard the other kids are straight up bullying you. Siron just looks down. I'm fine. You don't need to worry about me, Professor. She's not having it. Be real with me. Don't hide it. Siren nods. Seriously, I'm okay, even if it sucks that I haven't made any friends yet. After a second, he looks up. I just don't know how to make them stop hating me. Sienna asks, You're not even a little pissed at them? Siren nods. Duh. Of course I am. I'm human, after all. And yeah, I really wanted to get along with everyone. He stays calm. But I'm not gonna obsess over fitting in just to end up hating myself. Even if all 40 kids in Class 7 say I'm wrong, well, that's just 40 people. He lays it all out for her, smooth and steady. I believe that somewhere out there, someone will actually get me. Sienna's like, Wow, I see you. She gives him a warm smile. I hear you, Siron. I'll make sure the other teachers hear it too. She's already making moves in her head. Siren needs to move up, fast. Sienna's voice is sharp and steady as she speaks up at the faculty meeting. So, I'm wrapping this up with a final call. I'm officially recommending Siren for an early promotion. The other professors are sweating. Isn't that a bit of a hot take? The council room is buzzing with noise. An entire class ganging up on one student just because he isn't casting spells yet? That's straight up pathetic. The veteran teachers know this is a classic, lower-rank mess. Too many kids, plus a few older students who have zero talent and all the salt. Plus, the skill gap in those classes is a literal canyon. One teacher speaks up. If that's the case, move him up as soon as possible. For the kid's sake, he needs to be out of here in 4 years. Sienna sits back down. From the school's perspective, the sooner he graduates, the better it is for everyone. But then, out of nowhere, That opens his big mouth. I object, he barks. Headmaster Anfis just blinks. Seriously, bro? You're objecting now? Give me one good reason. That scoffs. Look, we all know Siren is supposed to be some kind of genius, but the kid can't even cast a basic spell. Plus, his theory grades, absolute trash. We can't just let that slide, period. Sienna is officially losing her mind. Are you kidding me right now? She snaps. Like I literally just said, Siren's grades are only like that because he's grinding through every single subject at the same time. He's not failing. He's just putting magic on the back burner for a minute. As teachers, we're supposed to let students study their own way. I'm not about to micromanage his hustle, and neither should you. That just narrows his eyes, leaning in. The real problem here, Sienna, is that you're acting way too obsessed with this kid. It's getting weird. Sienna's lip starts twitching. You want to say that again? That doesn't back down. Look, other students might not be geniuses, but they actually know their stuff. They've got the wisdom Siron lacks. If we just hand him a promotion on a silver platter, every other kid in this school is going to feel like a total loser. It'll kill their drive. He smirks, playing the moral card. A real teacher shouldn't just chase after one shiny genius and leave everyone else in the dust, right? Sienna blows a gasket. You're not just trying to trash a talented kid's future. You're too blind to see you're literally rewarding these brats for being petty and jealous. Boom. Both of them start slamming the table like they're in a heavy metal mosh pit. The other teachers are just holding their heads, praying for peace. God, not again. How can two people be such total opposites? It's exhausting. They're looking at Sienna and That, two level 6 mages going at it like cats and dogs, and they can't help but wonder, how did these two even become master wizards? Anfis finally waves his hands. All right, shut it. Both of you, sit down. He sighs, acknowledging that they both have points. Sienna, your logic is solid. But That? He's not entirely wrong either. He's worried about the school's vibe and keeping things balanced. I guess you could say he's just looking out for the whole student body in his own annoying way. Anfis continues, his heart's in the right place. I get it. We have to keep the students' feelings in mind so they don't revolt. That's over there nodding like, exactly. Thank you. while Sienna just fumes, waiting to see what the headmaster's play is. Instead of picking a side, Anfis just grins. Why don't we try this? Next morning, the school is absolute chaos. Students are sprinting through the halls like there's a fire. A massive crowd gathers at the Class 7 bulletin board, shouting and pushing. Yo, what's the word? What's going on? There it is in big bold letters. Official promotion exam notice. Apparently, due to all the whining about early promotions, the school decided to give everyone in Class 7 a shot. You want to move up? Here's your chance. But read the fine print. Kids, attention all students. Promotion will now be decided by a special test. Only one person gets the win, and that lucky person skips straight past Class 6 and lands right in Class 5. The subject? Pure magic. And the spell they chose for the evaluation? Teleportation. So the school basically solved the Siren problem by making the test all about the one thing the kids complained about. They officially flipped the script. Now you've got to master a Class 5 teleportation spell just to prove you're worthy. Wait, everyone can enter? Someone yells. The hype is real. If we pass, we jump 2 whole grades straight to Class 5. That's insane. But then reality hits. Teleportation? Bro, do you even know how to do that? Another kid just deadpans. Obviously not. That's a Class 5 spell, man. The Class 7 kids are starting to freak out. I mean, the theory sounds easy, so maybe the practice isn't that bad? Easy? Are you tripping? A guy screams. I know a senior who literally ended up in the hospital because he botched a teleportation spell. Another student starts panicking. What? Then how are we supposed to do it? It's like they don't even want any of us to pass. Suddenly, the crowd goes quiet and parts ways. Siren walks up, cool as a cucumber. Everyone's staring as he eyes the board. He just tilts his head. Teleportation? Huh? This should be fun. Later that day, over at the senior bulletin board, the gossip is spicy. Yo, did you hear the drama? It's getting nasty. Yeah, the bullying thing? Totally. So sad. Honestly, he's just a Class 7 kid. They're really jumping him just 'cause he can't cast magic yet? That's low. Someone else whispers the real tea. Nah, it's 'cause he's dating Amy. People are just salty. Amy is standing right there, staring at the board in a daze. Wait, he's been getting bullied this whole time? It all clicks. That's why he was avoiding her. He was trying to keep me out of it, to protect me. Sariel, standing next to her, tries to play it cool. Look, Class 7 kids are mentally weak. It's standard. I've dealt with stuff like that too. And honestly, skipping a grade isn't even that big of a deal, right? Suddenly, Ami just turns and bolts. Hey, where are you going? Sariel yells. Ami doesn't even look back. To find Siron, Sariel is scrambling. What? Wait up. What are you gonna do? Amy is absolutely fuming now. I'm gonna give that idiot a piece of my mind for hiding this from me. And then, I'm gonna round up every single one of those Class 7 punks and show 'em what real hell looks like. Sariel is losing it. Are you crazy? You can't do that. Ami just keeps stomping forward. Why not? I'm already involved in this mess. Sariel is literally being dragged behind her but keeps trying to talk sense. Think about it. If you were him, would you want the girl you like getting mixed up in a bullying scandal? If you go there now, you're just gonna make everything 1,000 times worse. Ami's internally screaming, stupid, stupid, stupid. Like, does she really think I like him? As if, totally not my type. Mostly. Then why the heck is he keeping this a secret from you? Sariel asks, basically dropping a logic bomb. Look, teleportation is straight up suicide for a level 7 student. Ami's thinking, if it's really that hard, our boy is in serious trouble. Teaching teleportation to a magic newbie is a disaster waiting to happen. Sariel's like, Ami, why don't you just teach him yourself? Wouldn't that make way more sense? Ami just snaps. Why should I help that brat? I've got my own life, okay? Plus, I've got exams. Zero time for his drama. Sariel just nods. Right, my bad. Forgot you're so busy. If he can't handle this on his own, He's not boyfriend material, Ami yells. Cut to the academy at night, something's lurking in the trees. Someone is moving fast, like insanely fast. A literal blur through the branches. A shadow drops down. Don't get the wrong idea, she mutters. It's Ami in a cloak, telling herself she's only here because of responsibility. Classic. Blink and she's gone. Ami's leaping across the rooftops, heading straight for Siron's dorm room. Plan, make him beg for help. She crashes onto his window, scaring the life out of him. Who's there? Siren yells. Before he can finish, she shuts him up. Time for a lesson. Ami's grinning. How dare you do this to me? Then, awkward silence. Sienna is sitting right there. Sienna just adjusts her glasses. Ami, is that you? She asks. A bit late for a social call, isn't it? Especially sneaking into the guys' dorms at midnight? Ami's hands are flying. It's a misunderstanding. A huge, terrible mistake. Sienna hushes them. Get in before the whole floor hears you. Sienna smirks, covering her mouth. Wow, Ami, I leave you alone for 5 minutes and you've already turned into a ninja assassin? Ami's tripping over her words. It's my first time. I just thought Siren would be in trouble, so I came in secret. Then Ami realizes something. Wait, why are you here so late, Professor? Sienna's got her story ready. She's giving him tips for the rank-up exam because the class is a total mess. Ami just nods. Oh, I see. Siren hands her some tea. Senior, drink up. Ami takes a sip. Smells great. Where'd you learn to brew this? Then she remembers she's supposed to be mad. Ami snaps. You little brat. Do you have any idea how much embarrassment I'm dealing with because of you? Siren's apologizing for his life. His screams are echoing through the whole building. And why didn't you tell me you were being bullied? Sienna's like, guys, chill. Sit down for a second. Let's finish talking about this insane rank-up exam first. Siron takes a sip of tea, completely lost. He's just staring at the absolute chaos happening between these two. Sienna sighs. This teleportation test? It's beyond dangerous. Ami chimes in. Right? Siron hasn't even learned the basics yet. Sienna says the principal himself ordered it. She's worried, but the old man must have some crazy plan behind it. Ami's thinking, typical. Just another one of the principal's sick games. Unbelievable. Siren looks at Ami. Is it really that dangerous? Ami nods. Yeah, obviously. It's legendary level dangerous. Teleportation is light magic, right? Siren asks. I've heard about the whole photochemical theory thing. Ami explains it. Light has absolute speed. Nothing in the universe can outrun it. Period. End of story. She starts geeking out on exactly how the magic mechanics work. It's about warping through space-time by turning your body into light. Sienna adds, sounds complicated, right? But honestly, it's not as scary as it sounds. Even a total newbie can pull it off if they have the guts. You just need to hit near light speed. If you can even grasp 1,000th of that speed, you're good to go. Sienna's voice is totally flat, but since it's so fast, your body's mass practically disappears. It's light work, literally. However, that's exactly why it's a nightmare. If something goes wrong at the speed of sound, you're toast. Siren thinks. Okay, so it's easy to learn but very easy to die. Great trade-off. Fantastic. He looks at Sienna. Now I get why this stuff is banned on campus. Sienna smiles. Bingo. You catch on fast. Ami's in the corner fuming. Since when did these two become besties? Hello, I'm right here. Stop ignoring me. Sienna never acts this friendly with anyone. Siren asks, so how do I pass this death trap of a test? Sienna's about to speak, but Ami cuts in. You need a place with 0 obstacles. No trees, no walls, nothing. Siren's clueless. Does a place like that even exist? Ami just points a finger straight up. Siron looks up. Wait, you mean the sky? Yep, 1,000 meters up, 700 meters across. The ultimate training ground. Sienna admits it's not exactly certified, but it's the only place they've got left for this kind of madness. The test is a straight-up race from one mountain peak to another. Siren's jaw drops. Okay, that actually sounds kind of epic. No obstacles at all? He just smirked, thinking about the risk. If I fall, I'm basically history, right? Ami asked Sienna, her voice laced with worry. But this is a race where the first one to the finish line takes the crown. Isn't that a bit overkill for a 7th grade level? Sienna's expression darkened. If nobody makes it to the end, the student who warped the furthest wins. Simple as that. Look, the difficulty is capped at level 1, and we've got safety gear to keep the danger to a bare minimum, she explained. But then she paused, her voice dropping. What really keeps me up is the students. If they get too aggressive, things are gonna get messy. Ami shot a look at Siren. If it comes to that, then obviously Siren. Sienna cut in. He's gonna be the prime target for every kid in that class. Siren stayed quiet, wondering if he actually had what it takes. If it was just a tough test, he could handle the grind. But then he remembered those toxic glares from everyone else. He absolutely hated the idea of being the lone wolf against the entire pack. Getting torn apart by that cutthroat competition? No thanks. Siren seriously questioned if he should even show up for this exam. That's when Sienna spoke up. Siren, I'm so sorry. She looked right at him. I pushed way too hard to get you into Class 5 during your entrance exam. My own greed ended up making your life a total nightmare. Siren jumped in immediately. No way, Professor. Please don't say that. Sienna bowed her head. Starting today, I'm taking full responsibility for your training. Ami just sat there, dead silent. After what felt like forever, Ami looked up, her eyes casting a dark shadow over Sienna. Why are you going this far? Seriously. Sienna met her gaze. I just feel like it's on me that this advancement exam is suddenly legendary tier difficulty. I've got to do my best. Ami practically slammed her hand on her chest. No, stop right there. That's actually going to make things 100 times worse. Rumors will spread that a judge is playing favorites with Siren. Even if he wins, his entire result will be straight up cancelled. She stared Sienna down with total confidence. Leave Siron to me. If it's just level 1 difficulty, it's a walk in the park, right? I'll teach him. Siren just blinked, totally lost. Senior Ami? Wait, I thought she was still pissed at me? Sienna adjusted her glasses, looking thoughtful. You've got a point. But, Ami, she trailed off, questioning her. I know you just applied for the graduation track. Do you really have the bandwidth to babysit Siren? Siren nearly fell out of his chair. The graduation track? He couldn't believe it. That's the holy grail, the one thing every magic student dreams of to become a pro mage. In that world, their power is basically recognized as being on the verge of pro-level status. Becoming a graduating senior at a top-tier school is enough to get you a front-page feature in the kingdom's magic magazines. But once you take that step, your chill school life is over. It's nothing but hellish training and nightmare scenarios from there on out. The application was right there. Number 1, Ami Camis. She was actually going to be the first one to step into that lion's den. Siren leaned in, totally shocked. How is that even possible? Isn't that way too fast for someone our age? Ami avoided his eyes, looking everywhere else. Well, about that. Internally, she was crying. It's all your fault, you little monster. She saw Siron jumping 2 grades at once and panicked. His progress was too insane. The only place she could run to was the graduation class. Tiny Ami was basically sprinting toward that hellish graduation. Stay away. Don't you dare follow me there. Siren looked at her with literal puppy dog eyes. That's so cool. I didn't even dream of hitting number 1 in the advanced class yet. And here she is, aiming for a level that's totally out of reach. He just watched Ami and Sienna go back and forth. He was genuinely touched. Even with her own huge exam coming up, she was still standing here trying to help him. Ami just smirked at Sienna. No matter how busy I am, there's nothing I can't handle. So, just back off. Sienna smiled right back. I get that you've got feelings for your boyfriend, but at a time like this, you should really leave it to the professionals. Since this is Siron's first time with magic, having a real teacher will be way more effective, Sienna added, throwing shade. That totally triggered Ami's competitive streak. She whipped around to face Siren. eyes blazing. All right, Siron, pick one. Me or Professor Sienna? Come on, Ami demanded. Wouldn't you rather have your girlfriend teach you? Siren just gave a nervous laugh. Actually, I think I'll just handle it myself. Both women froze in absolute shock. Excuse me, what? A scream echoed through the entire dorm. What? Ami shrieked in his face. You idiot, do you have any idea how rare this chance is? Siren fidgeted, looking down. I don't want to bother a judge, and besides, senior, you've got your own massive exam to worry about. Ami was losing it. People literally pay a fortune for this kind of tutoring. And don't you get it? The whole class is hunting you. This isn't something you can just solo, Siron. You're gonna get crushed, she yelled, her frustration peaking. Siren looked up, his voice steady. Isn't that exactly why you're pushing for the graduation class so early? If I just sit here and take handouts, I'll never be able to reach the heights where you're going. Ami was left totally speechless. Siren kept it 100. Class 5? Honestly, it's just a pit stop on my way to becoming a real mage. Just like you, senior. Amy straight up started choking. Siren looked her dead in the eye and said, Trust me, senior. I can't promise I'll crush the exam, but I'm going all out. No regrets, period. Sienna just stood there, soaking in the vibe while the two of them went back and forth. Once Siren finished his little speech, she stood up. She got the message: if a student is this fired up, a teacher's gotta respect the hustle. Sienna called it a day, not wanting to overstay her welcome. But hey, if you get stuck on anything, don't be a stranger. Just ask. She threw that out for everyone else, too. Siren stood up and gave her a deep bow. Major thanks for looking out for me. Teach. You guys stay here and hash things out, Sienna said, heading for the exit. She paused at the door, glancing back at Amy like the whole mess was water under the bridge. But for real, if I catch you climbing into the boys' dorm windows one more time, you get me? Amy dropped her head fast. Yes, ma'am. Crystal clear. Her soul was literally screaming with joy. She survived. Once Sienna vanished, Amy just collapsed into a heap, finally catching her breath. But the chill vibes didn't last. She jumped up, blabbing, I'm out of here too. Siren bowed to her too. Yeah, thanks for coming all this way. Siren was being super sincere. Seriously, thank you, senior. But Amy stopped him cold. Wait. Spill it. Why are you ghosting me? Siren froze like a statue. Amy kept going. You could have just told me you were getting bullied from the start. You didn't have to tank all that drama by yourself. She turned away, feeling a bit soft. Cyriel's words were playing on loop in her head. If the person you like sees you at your lowest, it's total ego death. Amy started stuttering. Is it your pride? Did I hurt your feelings? Siren shook his head. It's not that I'm trying to stay away from you. Amy covered her mouth, panicking. So it is true? Oh my God. Siren dropped a bombshell. The reason is simple. You're my goal. Amy just stood there, stunned. Oh, so that's it. I totally knew that. Obviously. Siren scratched his cheek, looking a bit awkward. Actually, from my very first day at this school, I saw your name sitting right at the top. He flashed back to that moment the first time he saw Amy's name dominating the leaderboard. Right then, I decided I was gonna grind until I was just like you. On the Class 4 board, Rank 1 was staring back. Casis Amy. Siren let out a little laugh. But I didn't think things would get this messy. It's super awkward. Telling you I was being bullied? That would have made it 10 times worse. Amy gave a little smirk. I'm the goal, huh? Inside, she was low-key fuming. Damn, am I really about to get passed by some rookie? She remembered her dad telling her to find the best talent at the academy and bring them home. She gave Siron a cold look. Talk about a twisted fate. She whispered, Are you for real right now? Siren looked totally lost. Huh? Then Amy just lost it. The goal? Don't make me laugh. That's ridiculous. She got right in his personal space. Calling me senior to my face while you're plotting to hunt me down behind my back? Siren threw his hands up, completely confused. How did it even turn into that? He sighed, thinking, man, How does my life always end up being a circus? Amy shoved the window open and threw on her cloak. If you're actually serious about surpassing me, then stop calling me senior. Siren just stood there, blinking. Amy yelled back at him, "Come at me for real. Let's see if you can actually compete." She hopped onto the ledge. "Better catch up fast, or I'm gonna make you call me senior for the rest of your life." Suddenly, Siren spoke up. Amy's heart skipped a beat. He actually said her name. Siren stood there in the middle of the room, looking dead serious. "I'm definitely catching up to you." Amy wanted to laugh. Look at him covered in shadows with that killer aura. All just to catch her? She spun around, facing him one last time before taking flight. "Better do it before I graduate." "Kid," Siren leaned out the window, watching her. 1 second she was there, the next poof, gone into the night. He let out a long breath. He turned down the help, which meant his enemies were definitely going to be tracking his every move now. Siren's eyes locked in with pure determination. He had to do this on his own 2 feet. 1 month left until the early promotion exam. The countdown is on. The next day after class, the whole school was buzzing. "Yo, you really hitting the books for that exam?" Students were gossiping everywhere. "I just hired a tutor. Apparently, we have to master teleportation in only 30 days. That's straight up dangerous." But 20 people actually signed up. The theory part? Easy. The formulas? Not that bad. But the Class 7 guys knew the truth. The real nightmare is actually making the magic work in the real world. A guy with blue hair pointed at Siron, who was lugging a massive stack of books down the street. "Is that kid actually trying to?" One book slipped theory of photonization. Siren was thinking to himself, "I said I'd do this solo," but he looked at the mountain of theory in front of him and groaned. Application is everything. In the real world, a mage's environment is always changing, especially with teleportation. Getting the terrain data right is a matter of life or death. Depending on the spot, you gotta tweak everything from light levels to total energy. Siren was scribbling notes like a madman. The numbers were reaching 10 to the power of 20. How is a human brain supposed to crunch that? He started banging his head against the desk. "No, stay focused. Don't you dare quit now. Look, there's no way they'd just throw an impossible test at us. Right?" Siren was spiraling. Sienna said teleporting was a piece of cake, but for a total magic noob like him, that's a whole different story. He kept hearing Sienna's voice in his head. Those Class 7 kids, they've had expensive tutors and elite training since they were in diapers. Siren felt like a total outsider just watching them. Sienna's big question haunted him. Can you actually close that gap? Suddenly, Siren snapped out of it. Alpheus was standing there, just smiling at him. Over on the other side, someone started clapping. "Impressive. Truly perfect teleportation," they said, looking at the tall kid through the fading smoke. "I mean, what did you expect? That's the son of Satyr, the top tech advisor for the Magic Association." He called out to the young master Satyr, March 15 years old, Class 7, and standing tall like he owned the place. "Well, I do have a level 9 certified teacher, so obviously," Mar scoffed, grabbing a towel. "I was worried for a sec, but that was way too easy." His coach just kept it real. "The test is basic, so you can focus on making it look flashy." His voice was totally flat. Learning perfect teleportation in just 1 month is straight up impossible for a normal person. But if you skip the fluff and only grind the exam material, yeah, you might actually pull it off. Mar let out a nasty little laugh. Honestly, he should probably thank that scholarship brat for the motivation. Wiping off his sweat, he bragged, "Thanks to that loser, I jumped 2 class ranks in record time." He took a swig of water and asked, "So, what's that bum even up to?" The man answered exactly like he was told. "I'm tracking him, sir, but it looks like he's just sitting there reading books by himself." Mar was confused. Self-study? With books? No way. With that kind of backing, I thought he'd hire some legendary tutor or something. "Is he hiding something?" Mar ordered his guy to keep watching. He knew Siron wasn't just some reckless idiot. "You can't just read a few books and suddenly use magic," Mar muttered. Meanwhile, Siren was literally drowning in a mountain of books. He finally dropped his pen to take a breather. All right, I've done everything I possibly could. First step, he spent ages obsessing over the nature of light. He memorized every single theory until he could recite them in his sleep. I hope this is enough, because time is officially up. It was dead of night at the Class 7 training grounds, lit by only a few flickering lamps. Sirens started warming up. Time to make the magic happen. Nothing is impossible. Just gotta pray this works like the math says it should. Siren's eyes suddenly glowed with a deep, haunting blue. Step 1. Crack open the spirit zone between his brows. The second he whispered the words for photonization theory, he started to glow. He was white-knuckling his focus, trying not to lose it. He felt like he was hovering right on the edge of becoming a god. The light got blinding, a crazy blue aura completely swallowed him up. Suddenly, his body flashed a brilliant gold. He looked down at his hands, totally hyped. Yes, it's actually working. Now, teleport, Siren shouted, his eyes wide. Humans aren't supposed to be able to calculate light particles like this. He channeled everything Sienna taught him. When a mage really locks in, their mind gets sharp enough to feel every single atom in the room. They say the elite mages can literally count the leaves on a tree from a mile away. Someone dropped a handful of tiny coins into his palm to explain it. This is extreme mental sensitivity. We call it the spirit zone. Alpheus reached out. In this state, a mage perceives the world on a superhuman level. That's how they control reality itself. For Siren, it was like a whole new dimension was opening up right in front of his eyes. It wasn't about math anymore, it was about feeling everything. But the clock was ticking. Only 13 days left until the big teleportation exam. Countdown. 9 days. Inside the academy, people were already whispering, what the hell happened to him? Everyone was staring at the back of the class. Even the girls who usually acted too cool to care were looking at Siren's face. A voice hissed from the crowd. Did he seriously try to train without any protection? That's insane. Siren ignored them all, even with his face covered in bandages. He was just focused on his notes. His first teleport attempt? A total disaster. He felt a bit helpless trying to fix his mistakes. I don't have a choice. I just have to keep crashing until I get it right. Siren kept hitting the dirt hard. He stayed on the ground, clutching his bruised knee. Damn it. My knee was off that time. Countdown. 8 days. His notebook was a mess of scribbles. He was obsessed with the details. The error was 0.02 microseconds off. Countdown. 7 days. It was a stupid, brutal way to learn. But with only 6 days left, the training grounds were filled with the sound of him hitting the floor over and over. 5 days left, and Siron was still eating dirt. 4 days left, and he stayed determined. My body has to remember this, like an instinct. 3 days, 2 days, and then just 1 day left. 1. Siren stood under the lights, huffing and puffing with his hands on his knees. Sweat was literally pouring off him. What am I gonna do? The test is tomorrow, but every time he fixed one mistake, a brand new one popped up. Siren wiped his face. There's no more time to fix anything. This is it. I gotta do this. I have to. Siren slowed his breathing, everything in front of him going totally blurry. He slapped his own face hard just to snap out of it. Stay focused. Connect the dots. He lunged forward again, boots slamming into the dirt. He poured every ounce of brainpower into one single blink. A spark ignited, and then zip, he was gone. Siren opened his eyes and realized he was floating just inches off the ground. Asterisk thud. Asterisk. He hit the dirt, but it was a soft landing. Safe, he gasped. No broken bones this time. He just laid there in the mud, grinning like a total maniac. I actually did it. I wonder how far I can push this thing. His brain was fried, and he drifted off before he even knew it. But look, there's no time for a nap, man. Gotta practice, gotta pray, gotta get this right. Next morning, sunrise. Our main man was looking out over the campus from the balcony. Some guy called out to him, "Young master, how you feelin'?" Mark turned around, oozing pure ego. "Feelin' like a legend. Today's history, man. I'm moving up to class 5. Watch me flex." He squinted at the distance. 700 meters? Child's play, he muttered. I'm gonna crush this easily. Over at the academy, Class 7 was looking pretty empty. Maria was heading to the door when a voice stopped her cold. Yo, Maria, you quitting already? Maria jumped. In her head, she knew it was him. Aren't you supposed to be at the training grounds? Why are you even here? Mark just laughed in her face. Do I look like some loser who needs to cram for an exam? Please. He got right in her personal space. What are you even doing here? No wonder your grades are absolute garbage. He scoffed. Honestly, Maria, you should go watch the pros work. You might actually learn something if you stop being a bottom-tier student for 5 minutes and watch people who actually know what they're doing. Maria tried to walk away, trembling. Yeah, whatever. Good luck. Hope you pass. Mark chuckled. Wait, for real? You actually want me to win? Maria's hands were shaking like crazy. Mark leaned in close, whispering like a snake. You're quite the actress, huh? Sneaking around with a teacher? Wait, how did you know? She stuttered. Her reaction made Mark lose it. He started howling with laughter. You idiot. I was just baiting you. Thanks for confirming it, though. Maria's bag hit the floor, straight up paralyzed. I got eyes everywhere. A shy girl like you hitting the teacher's office? Suspect as hell. He pinned her against the wall. I'm being nice since we're classmates, but once I'm your senior? He glared, voice turning dark. Think about what's gonna happen then. Maria was shaking like a leaf. Mark just stood up straight and scoffed. Total coward. Why does she even want to be a mage? Absolute waste of space. 4 years older than me and still stuck in Class 7. Pathetic. He walked off, leaving Maria crying on the floor. She covered her mouth, tears streaming down her face. Meanwhile, Mark kicked a door open. Yo, the plan's all set, right? 4 other Class 7 losers looked up. One of them answered. 2 of us are gonna stick to Siron like glue from the start. The other 2? We're your personal guard. He's gonna fail twice over. Mark nodded. First round is 10 meters. Push him out at least 10 times. Make it hurt, a gray-haired kid asked. You're gonna keep your word, right? If we pull this off? Mark's eyes gleamed. Duh. Obviously. Once I rank up, I'll hook you up with a tutoring gig. Easy money. You won't even need to graduate to find work. My old man is a heavy hitter at the Magic Association. Help me out, and I'll make sure you're taken care of. I always pay my debts. He smirked to himself. 0 mistakes. A genius doesn't get caught off guard, especially not by some nobody like Siron. Cut to the foggy mountains. This is the unpassable bridge everyone's talking about? The Class 7 crowd was gathering, looking stressed out. That short-haired girl who hated Siron was there. Is this really the final round? I'm already exhausted, man. The pink-haired girl agreed. Way more people here than I thought. It's a total zoo. The Class 5 seniors were looking down their noses at everyone. If a newbie makes it into our class, I hope they're actually cute. One of them joked. Everyone was buzzing. Classes 4 and 6 even showed up just to watch the drama unfold. The judges arrived right on time, including the headmaster. A flare shot into the sky. Boom. Etela saw the signal. It's time. She looked at the nervous kids lined up at the starting line. Exam starts in 10 minutes. Someone yelled, Are you kidding me? This is a straight-up cliff. Where's the bridge? Open your eyes, dummy. It's right there. Another kid looked down and started screaming. What? You call 3 skinny ropes a bridge? We're gonna die. Nearby, someone was watching through binoculars. Got him. This is the best seat in the house. Serial was hyped, focusing her lenses. I can see everything so clearly. Amy just stood there, arms crossed. Seriously? We're busy. Why are you wasting time on these Class 7 losers? Serial ignored her. Gotta cheer for your boyfriend. Give him some of that good luck. Amy just sighed. If they're good, they pass. If they're trash, they fall. Cheer for who? Are you kidding me? She's practically gnawing on her finger in stress. Anyway, can you actually teleport? Or are we just vibing here? This black-haired dude struts over to M, warming up like he's the main event. Yo, you find Siron yet? The guy shakes his head. Nah, some students said he's a no-show. M's eyes shift. What's he plotting now? Meanwhile, Siron is face down in the dirt, completely out of it. An ant is literally trekking across his face until his eyes snap open and scare the life out of the poor bug. He bounces up like a literal spring, screaming about what time it is. Somewhere else, someone's yelling just as loud. Wait, he's not here? Ami's glued to her binoculars. Say, what now? Siren's missing. Cyril is losing it. I don't know. I've looked everywhere, and the dude is just gone. Ami's voice trails off, her brain going 1,000 miles an hour. Is he failing? Did the magic backfire and blow him to pieces? See? I told you. Trying to self-teach teleportation is basically a one-way ticket to a bad time. It's hard as hell. The students are standing on the edge of this massive, terrifying cliff. Someone mutters, "This is a cliff, bro. Where's the actual bridge?" Etela breaks it down. Rules are simple. When I give the signal, move to the other side. Whoever teleports the furthest wins the round. The Class 7 kids are looking at each other like, for real? One brave soul peeks over the edge. You want us to just run across that? If we mess up the spell, we're just falling into the abyss, right? That's the vibe. They're all suspicious. Is there even a safety net down there? That stands there looking smug. If you're scared, just quit. Nobody's forcing you. Everyone stares at him. That just shrugs. Look, dead is dead. At magic school, the chance of kicking the bucket is literally part of the curriculum. He gets dead serious. Plus, this is the early promotion exam. It's not a playground. This is for the elites moving to Class 5. If you can't even protect your own skin, take your weak-ass resolve and go home. He gives them one last cold look. Leave now while you still have all your limbs. It's your last chance. He looks like a hard-ass on the outside. But inside, he's dying laughing. Yeah, that's right. Stay shook. He figures a little psychological pressure keeps them from doing something stupid. Then his eyes drift over to the main character's crew, the real danger. These guys are only here to crush the competition. M just stands there with a nasty smirk. Why do these mid-tier losers even bother? At the end of the day, they're just stepping stones for my climb to the top of society. He's feeling himself way too much. And that brat? Word is he's self-taught. That's a guaranteed fail right there. What a joke. M looks ahead, confident as hell. Even I had to prep like crazy for this. Right then, Etela raises her hand. Line up. The exam is starting. She stops mid-sentence, eyes widening. Someone is sprinting toward them like a madman. It's Siron, and honestly, he looks like he's been through a literal meat grinder. Everyone's jaw just drops. Siron's doubling over, gasping for air. My bad. I'm late. He looks up at Etela. I can still take the test, right? Etela rushes over to him. Through the binoculars, Cyril finally spots him. Ami, there he is. He made it. Ami snatches the binoculars away, screaming, "Where the hell have you been? You absolute idiot." She's biting her lip, totally stressed out. Wait, why is his face covered in cuts? Did he blow himself up practicing? Over at the judge's table, the tension is real. Canna turns to Anfis. Headmaster, Etela is asking if we should let the late kid play. What's the call? Anfis just nods. Handling the unexpected is part of being a mage. Start the exam on schedule. No special treatment. Sienna stays quiet for a beat. Copy that. Then, boom, an orange flare streaks into the sky. Etela yells out, "Prepare yourselves. We're starting exactly as planned." She looks at Siren, who can barely stand. Siren, if you're gonna pass out, just tell me. Siren just drags his feet forward. Thanks, but I'm good. Let's do this. Some random student waves him over. Hey, stand here. Siren blinks, exhausted. Oh, thanks, man. That guy shares a look with his buddy. Phase 1 complete. They're planning to kick Siren out within 10 rounds. Siren's head is down, sweat dripping everywhere. He glares at the finish line. Focus. Everything I've got. Right now. Etela's hand goes up again. The Class 7 promotion exam officially starts now. Get ready. She checks her watch. Everyone is lined up, crouched low, hearts pounding like crazy. Marley looks at the guy next to him and nods. Stick to the plan. Siron is locked in, tuning out the world. Etela fires the signal flare, and it's pure chaos. Everyone bolts forward, Siren right in the thick of the pack. The two saboteurs are right on Siron's tail, sharing a sinister look. The clock is ticking 1 second down. These kids have trained for months, over and over, just for this specific moment. But it's their first time actually facing the cliff. That feeling of the sky opening up under your boots? It hits different. Feet burning, adrenaline spiking, or maybe just pure terror. This is a world they've never touched, and they've only got one shot to make it across. These kids are booking it like there's a limited edition drop at the finish line, everyone desperate to snag that #1 spot. Every single student is high on hope, thinking they've actually got a shot at glory. The clock hits 2 seconds, and they're only 20 meters from a literal death drop. Our boy Max is redlining his engine, pushing full throttle, but even he knows that just being fast isn't going to cut it. It's all about the timing. You gotta hit that teleportation trigger at the perfect millisecond, or it's game over. Look, the math is simple. Success is all about the leap. Where you jump determines if you're a legend or just another face in the crowd. Doesn't matter if you're first or last in line, assuming you've actually got the stones to go through with it. One red-haired kid fumbles his footing way too early, miles from the edge. He panics, screams, "Screw it," at the top of his lungs, and poof, he vanishes in a flash of golden light. That sets off a chain reaction. The guy next to him starts tripping. "Wait for me. I'm out too." Suddenly, it's a mass exodus as everyone starts spamming their teleport skills. 3 seconds in, 5 meters to the edge, the lead pack is going for it. Someone yells, "Hell yeah, I'm actually doing this." 3 meters left. Another kid lunges forward, and then one of Mar's own lackeys decides he's done playing bodyguard. "Sorry, Mar. Every man for himself," he bellows. I mean, if the escort squad bails, what choice does the guy have? Mar is absolutely fuming, gritting his teeth at these total cowards. He keeps charging ahead, but you can see the sweat. He's terrified of a faceplant. Max leader pulls the trigger 2 meters out. Clock hits 3.5 seconds. And Siren? He's still just running. One of Mar's goons, the guy tasked with tripping Siren up, is still there too, thinking, "Is this kid insane? Why is he still glued to me?" Another student hesitates, looking around. "Guess it's just us." Then he loses his nerve, screams, "I'm out," and disappears into thin air. The two guys trying to hold Siron back finally cave and pop their magic. Siron is still sprinting, 1 meter to the edge. Total madness. 3.7 seconds on the clock. Siren's like, "Nah, not yet." He plants his foot literally on the ragged edge of the cliff. He's locked in, determined to close the gap. Over in the Ami camp, the students' jaws are hitting the floor. Even the high and mighty judges with Lady Sienna are caught off guard. Etela is watching with her heart in her throat. The crowd starts whispering, "Is he even gonna jump?" Siron Arian clears 2 meters of empty air, 4 seconds in. It's just like that legendary sword match back at the August date. That was the first time anyone ever saw a kid stand his ground against my old man without shaking like a leaf. "Aren't you even a little freaked out?" Ran asked him, totally stunned because even he couldn't look his own father in the eye. Flashback to a year ago, room R at the mansion. Siren's actually blushing a bit as Rand showers him with hype. "Oh, that?" Siren says, acting like it's no big deal. "It's nothing special. I just read somewhere that fear is basically just your imagination running wild." But what really floored Siren wasn't the philosophy, it was Rand's knight's oath. He never expected Rand to swear a whole knight's oath to him. Talk about a massive respect move. Remembering that book Only Humans Fear Swords, Siren just coolly explains that people just imagine their own deaths too vividly. Think about it, even if you jump off a cliff, you aren't actually dead until you hit the ground, right? So, he just stopped worrying about the what-ifs and focused on the right now. Basically, find a solution instead of a coffin. To dodge the panic, he killed his imagination of the future and stayed 100% in the present. Do your best, find the answer, that's his secret sauce. Rand hears this and honestly thinks Siron has a screw loose. "Siron, are you actually a moron?" A moron? Me? Siren's legitimately confused. He's sitting there talking about life and death stakes like he's discussing the weather. Ran is dripping sweat, grabbing Siren by the shoulders like, "Listen, you idiot, if you fall off a cliff, you die. Like, for real, dead. What part of this don't you get?" Siren sees Ron is genuinely worried for his life, so he tries to talk him down. No, chill. Think about the logic, man. I don't die the second I jump. I've still got time to figure it out. Back in the present, every single student and teacher is holding their breath, looking like they're about to have a collective heart attack. The watch in Lady Etela's hand is ticking away, every second feeling like a goddamn hour. At the cliff, everyone else has already turned into streaks of light and bailed. That's when Siron finally takes the plunge. His whole body starts glowing gold as he forces his spirit zone open. The wind resistance is brutal. Using teleportation, magic midair puts an insane amount of pressure on his body. Stay focused, he tells himself. If the spirit zone cracks, it's game over. The moment he drops, a layer of pure light wraps around him like a cocoon. The world around Siren starts warping. His body lifts, ignites, and he blasts off at light speed, straight up hunting down the students who left him in the dust. Siren starts blowing past the lead group like they're standing still. One of the students spots him and loses his mind. Everyone is bugging out, they can't believe he caught up, let alone started lapping them. Wait, what? How late did this guy jump to get this much momentum? The dude is staring at Siren's taillights in total disbelief. On the other side of the mountain, the crowd is going absolutely nuclear. Seeing Siren enter the race like a boss has everyone screaming their heads off. It's game time. Eyes on the prize, people. It happened in a literal blink. But did you catch that? Yeah, our new guy just sent it. The fifth years are losing their minds watching Siren absolutely flex on everyone. They can't believe a rookie is pulling this off. Ami's like, wait, isn't this his first time even touching magic? Sorel's voice is literally shaking, and Ami, she's so stunned she can't even find the words to explain it. She finally chills out and realizes why he started late. Now, the shock is wearing off and turning into pure respect. Better late than never, right? He worked his tail off to catch up, and if he keeps this pace, he's taking the crown. Back to the race. Mars still in front, but he knows Siren is breathing down his neck. The clock's ticking. He's losing it. Like, what the hell is my tactical team even doing right now? Total panic mode. Distance doesn't even matter anymore. Mar tries to floor it, but it's too late. Siren just zooms past him like he's standing still. Man's really watching the back of the new kid's head. Talk about a reality check. Deep in the woods, far from the mountain chaos, Maria's just wandering. And look, it's not that she's untalented. Nah, it's the bullying and that crushing self-doubt. It's like her own mind is keeping her trapped in a cage. Throwback to the staff room, Maria's too scared to even look up. She's trembling, like, "Sir, they were picking on me again." But the teacher doesn't give a damn. Cold as ice, he just cuts her off. Competition is brutal, kid. Get over it. Cruel world, right? Everyone else moved on, leveled up, and left her in the dust without looking back. Round 3 is a wrap, and we've got 3 groups. Group 1, Siren and Mars Squad. Group 2 is trailing by 3 meters. Then there's the struggle bus group in the back. These guys used their mana too early because they were scared. Bad move. Crap, I can't even fly. One kid's thinking. The senior said if we fall, we'll be fine, right? Famous last words. Then it happens. One clumsy kid sneezes. Just one sneeze, and he loses his balance. Down he goes. It's a domino effect. Group 3 is literally raining from the sky. Help, teacher, I quit. Absolute chaos. The spectators and teachers, they're just laughing. Not a single drop of sympathy for the losers from them. Exactly as planned. If you can't handle the fear, you're the first to drop. Teachers already crossing names off. They're still falling, screaming their lungs out. Yo, where's the safety gear? Is this ever gonna end? Just when they think it's curtains, this massive fan at the bottom kicks in. Talk about a dramatic save. The wind catches them like a giant cushion, and they all thump onto the ground. Safe, but definitely traumatized. The ones who didn't pass out are just groaning. This is messed up. You guys should have warned us first. The whole rejected squad is throwing a tantrum. They're pissed the seniors kept the falling part a secret. Little did they know, this was a special gift from the upperclassmen. Yeah, real funny guys. And just like that, Group 3 is wiped. 200 meters in and everyone's gassed. I'm done. Can't move. Kids are collapsing left and right because they burned through their teleportation mana. Teacher, save me. Again with the screaming. Mid-group is basically a ghost town now. Meanwhile, back at the front, Mar is still sweating bullets, trying to speed up. I mean, he's got decent talent, but his ego is even bigger. Idiots, he thinks. Stay down where you belong. He's smirking, listening to the failures behind him. The weak always fold. Man, this guy is such a clown. But even though he's pushing his limits, Siron is still pulling away, and it's eating him alive. He's gritting his teeth, thinking, is it just me? Or is this brat actually getting faster? Pure frustration. He hits the gas, desperate to catch up. The very thought of Siron being better is making him sick. The worst part? Siron isn't even sweating. How? He was supposed to be a goner before the race even started. Then, something shifts. A massive wave of energy surges into Siron. Mar's in the back like, oh, come on. What the hell is this? Mar yells, and then boom, Siron just kicks it into overdrive. Professor Etela is watching the whole thing through her magic eyes. Even she's like, okay, this kid is actually cracked. She's impressed. I'm out here using multiple steps just to keep up, but Siron, his rhythm is perfectly steady. He's like a machine. She's using focus techniques to stay steady, but Siron is just naturally in the zone. It's not just her, all the proctors are nodding along. They know they're looking at something special today. Some teachers throw a bone to Mar, too. I mean, his magic isn't half bad, but he's got issues. They notice Mar's rhythm is jumping all over the place. He's got skill, but he's too impulsive. Total rookie mistake. Yo, check it out. The crowd is straight up simping for Etela's talent. I mean, spotting targets from that far using synesthesia? Girl is a literal cheat code. Meanwhile, some other dude is standing there looking salty as hell, keeping his mouth shut because he's got nothing. The principal is low-key vibing with Siron's performance, absolutely loving the show. But Serial, he's losing it, staring through his binoculars and asking Ami what the deal is. Wait, is that dark compression? No way. Where did this Siren kid even learn high-tier moves like that? He's cracked. Ami just stands there, watching Siron like a hawk. She knows exactly what's up, but she's not spilling the tea to Serial yet. Learn it? Nah, bro. Normal mages have to train for years to tap into their subconscious. But this kid? He's just built different. He's literally piloting his own subconscious mind. That's not a skill you just learn at school, that's straight up monster territory. M sees Siren pulling ahead and realizes he can't win this fair and square. Time to get dirty. He shouts the signal. Let's go. Do it now. The signal's out. M's two goons immediately start their Operation Sabotage according to the plan they cooked up. Both of them are gassed, running on fumes. Damn it, there's the signal. But why now? I'm freaking exhausted. No choice. The goon squeezes every last drop of mana he's got left. It's a kamikaze mission to take Siron down, pushing his speed way past his limit. Siren feels the shift in the air. Wait, 2 bursts? What are they trying to pull? Someone just messed with the rhythm. For a split second, Siren loses focus and suddenly, a shadow pops up right in his grill. This student literally teleports right in front of him. Siren's shook. He doesn't even have time to react. He has to slam on the brakes to avoid a collision. What the hell? Before he can even process that, another student comes charging in from the side. Siren's eyes go wide. He's staring straight at the guy, aiming for him like a heat-seeking missile. The goon knows this is a trash move, but he's gotta follow orders. He's thinking, sorry bro, but your race ends here. We're both going down. He shuts his eyes tight and rams Siren at full throttle, planning to knock him straight out of the sky. Siron is absolutely stunned. Is this guy for real? Is he actually trying to crash into me in midair? The goon is floating there, eyes shut, teeth grit, shaking like a leaf. Then he opens one eye, and he's totally confused. The goon starts falling, looking back at Siron, who's just hanging there in space. Did he seriously dodge that? Gravity takes over, and the goons start plummeting. It's game over for those losers. But Siron isn't doing great either. He's fighting like hell just to stay conscious and not pass out. His hands are clawing at the empty air. The sky is huge, his rhythm is trashed, and the fatigue is hitting him like a freight train. But then boom, Siron's blue eyes glow with pure determination. No way I'm blacking out here. Focus, man. Focus. Like a freaking solar flare, he shoots right back up into the blue. The falling goon sees it and whispers, "That guy, he's a literal demon." And just like that, the saboteurs fall into the abyss along with their failed plans. Down on the ground, the fifth years are gossiping like crazy. Yo, did Siron just glitch? Did he miss a turn or something? One smart aleck pipes up, "Nah, you idiots. They were trying to ram him. That was a straight-up targeted hit." The other students are shook. Wait, what? A hit? Who would be crazy enough to stage an accident in the middle of a race? Iruki, the resident genius, is just chilling with his legs crossed, looking completely unbothered by the chaos. He starts gesturing with his hands, one fist, one flat palm, explaining the trap like a pro. One guy blocks the lane, the other strikes from the flank, a pincer move designed to wipe him out. Iruki analyzes it with a smirk. Actually, it's a brilliant strategy to counter Siron's specific style. He's using teleportation and space leaps. If that kid hadn't veered off course at the last second, it would have been a total disaster. After dropping that knowledge bomb, Iruki just waves it off with a cocky grin. Well, if it were me, I'd have just used movement equations to dodge it easy peasy. The other students are looking at him like he's a total weirdo. Ugh, look at this guy acting all high and mighty again. So annoying. They exchange looks. If Iruki saw it, there's no way the teachers missed it. Wonder what the staff is actually plotting. While the principal and Sienna keep watching, M is zooming ahead, laughing like a freaking cartoon villain. First place. First place is finally mine. I'm the king. M is straight up gloating. Everyone's gonna be so jealous. Those sixth-year losers and my dumb classmates? They're all beneath me now. Watch me. This is what real talent looks like. His eyes are glowing with pure ego. Siron is still in the back, trailing M's flashy mana. He notices M is in top form and will definitely finish the course. If I want to win, I gotta go faster. But if I push my teleport range too far, my whole rhythm might just shatter. Siron's eyes? Pure fire. He's shifting gears and doing things his way now. Boom. Magic flared. Siron shot forward like a rocket, leaving the competition in the dust. The crowd went absolutely ballistic. "He's catching up," they screamed. At this speed, it's just a two-man drag race to the finish. Ami's jaw hit the floor. How is he still pulling off high-level magic while his body is basically a wreck? Meanwhile, Suriel is literally clinging to Ami's arm, whining like a lost puppy because she can't see a thing. "Let me see," she cries. But Ami's eyes are glued to the binoculars, watching Mac scramble. What is that thing? A massive coil of magic looking like a literal death rope is homing in on the main character. Mac had to dive out of the way or get wrecked. While he was busy fumbling, Siron was already right on his tail. Suddenly, a red alert flashed. The impossible bridge difficulty just activated. Everyone? Completely shook. Level 10. Siron froze for a split second. This was getting way too real. Both of them stared at the nightmare of magic threads blocking their path. Like, seriously? Level 10? Are they trying to kill these kids? Coach Sienna panicked. "I'm heading to the equipment room," Mr. Say shouted, already sprinting away. With a burst of light, Mr. Say took to the skies. Dude was moving like a golden comet across the sky. Sienna begged the principal to stop the exam, but another teacher chimed in about the prestige and clan drama. "If we cancel, the noble families will have our heads. Think about the backlash. Talk about having bad priorities." Principal Anfis didn't even blink, eyes locked on the chaotic mess unfolding on the field. He finally snapped. You think I care about politics right now? Stop the damn test before someone dies. A flare shot into the sky. Siren and Mac saw it and pulled up. Everything just stopped. The exam was officially dead. Right then, Mr. C finally made it to the control room. Yellow signal? Great. My desk is going to be buried in complaints by tomorrow morning, he muttered, sounding totally done with life. He pounded on the door. Brett, did you get wasted again? You knew how big today was. I'm coming in. He grabbed the handle, but it wouldn't budge. Locked from the inside. Not a glitch then. Mr. C stopped and started charging up his magic. Someone was definitely messing around. A flash of fire ignited in his hand, but then he hesitated. Wait, what was that? Through a flicker of blue light, he saw the truth of what was happening inside. Two bodies. One passed out, and the other sitting on the floor by the controls. Mr. C aimed his magic at the door. Who's in there? Open up now or I'm blowing this door to kingdom come. Go ahead, a voice whispered. Do it. It's not like anyone would miss me anyway. Mr. C froze. That voice. A memory hit him like a truck. A little girl following him around. He knew her. Maria? Is that you? Maria was curled in a ball, shaking like a leaf. Mr. C started banging on the door again. Kid, do you have any idea how much trouble you're in? Open the door and I'll make sure the punishment is light. Maria screamed back. No, everything is already over. It's all trash. If Mac gets promoted, my life becomes a living hell again. I'd rather just end it all here. Mr. C went silent. I'd rather die, she sobbed, clutching her knees. Mr. C closed his eyes and let out a long sigh. I get it now. Do what you have to do. Maria's eyes widened, tears streaming down her face. If you don't want to open it, don't. It's fine. The test is already canceled anyway. You won. Outside, the yellow signal was blinding. Mac was absolutely fuming, gritting his teeth in pure rage. Cancel the test? Are you kidding me? The promotion was right there. He shot a look back at Siron. If they called it now, he'd never get another shot at crushing Siron. He wasn't about to let that happen. Siron was gasping for air, exhausted, but his eyes, still sharp as glass. Mac was losing his mind. Suddenly, crack, the maze went haywire, firing deadly magic beams everywhere. Principal, they're diving into the maze. Sienna's voice cracked. It was a literal suicide run. No, the principal's fists were clenched so tight his knuckles were white. He was beyond pissed. These idiots. Sienna watched them charge into the fire like moths to a flame, her heart racing. We have to stop them. It's too dangerous. Where the hell is Mr. C when you need him? The principal finally gave the word, and every teacher scrambled toward him like their lives depended on his next move. Man, the headmaster was absolutely fuming, fists clenched, face red, and that kind old man vibe? Totally gone. His eyes were literally glowing gold as he watched the two boys dive into the maze. But inside, he was just straight up disappointed. He thought Siren would be built different, but if the kid lets greed cloud his vision and makes trash decisions, he is never seeing daylight again. Meanwhile, inside that death trap, Siren is dodging and weaving like a pro to find an exit. The audience is losing their minds. Students are pacing, sweating, and asking, man, what do we even do? Cereal is literally shaking, hands over her mouth, calling out to her bestie in total shock. Ami is just done. She is watching this disaster unfold like, are these idiots for real? Level 10 is for literal professionals, not kids. Suddenly, a million black ropes burst out of the canyon walls. These things are shape-shifting and lunging at our boy Siren. He is barely holding on. The traps are coming in way too fast. One miss and he is toast. Zero time to even think. If I keep this up, my mental energy is gonna hit zero, Siren thinks. While Mar, the other main character wannabe, is still charging ahead like a fool. Mar is thinking, hey, we are both gonna fail, so whoever goes the furthest wins. This is my chance to finally be the GOAT. With 0 brain cells and 100% ego, Mar zooms through the maze gaps at breakneck speed. He is actually smirking while he sees Siren struggling. How is my technique look now? Loser, you are gonna stay stuck there forever. Meanwhile, these massive black maze blocks are completely surrounding Siren. Siren is trying to stay alive and find a way out, but when he sees Mar flying into a trap, he tries to yell, "Wait," but it is way too late. Abort! No way! In the control room, the screens are flashing red and Maria's voice is shaking over the alarm. Maria is slumped against the door, hugging her knees and crying. Sir, what is even the point of this competition anyway? It feels like it is just about stepping on others and lying your way to the top. Is this really what the Academy wants? That is on the other side of the door, trying to calm her down, but she is not having it. Do not you dare act like we are the same, she screams. You are a genius's teacher. You have no idea what it is like to be me. She is sobbing now, tears just streaming down her face. It is heavy. I did everything right. I worked hard. But in this school, if you do not have talent, you are literally invisible. She feels like a nobody. Seeing her break down, That keeps his voice low and gentle. Look, you might not know this, but I graduated from here too. Back when I was a senior, you were just a fresh-faced rookie. Maria actually stops crying for a second. She cannot believe he remembers her from that long ago. Wait, really? But have not you heard the rumors about the legendary genius's student named Sacy? That gets this nostalgic look in his eyes, but Maria's voice is still shaky from the crying. No, I have not. I was always at the bottom. I stayed in the 5th grade for 5 whole years. Watching my friends level up and leave me behind? Yeah, it made me bitter and angry as hell. That opens up about his days at the academy. You can hear the regret and the memories in his voice. Maria is like, no way, not you. That just laughs it off and keeps dropping the truth bombs. One day, the principal caught me and chewed me out. I tried to blame some other kid for starting a fight. Flashback to a dark corner of the school. Thad is being a little brat, complaining that it is just a minor thing and the principal should back off. His face is covered in scratches, definitely just got into a scrap, and he is acting all tough. The principal does not care. He just asks, do you know the one thing a mage should never, ever do? It is comparing yourself to others. That flinches because that hit way too close to home, but he still tries to talk back. Shh, what are you even talking about? Is this another boring lecture? But the old man just keeps going. Mages call it erasing the ego. If you can just focus on yourself, that is real growth. If you spend your whole life looking at everyone else's path, you are going to end up lost. Back to the present. Mar is still ego-tripping through the maze until oops, something feels very wrong. He looks front and back. Trapped. The gates are locked. He is cornered, and the panic finally sets in. Pure terror washes over him, and his brain just stops working. Now, all he has got left is regret. I should not have come this way. I messed up big time. Trapped in a shifting death trap with no way out, our boy was literally staring at the game over screen in his head, wondering if this was really how it all ends. Pure regret hit him like a truck as he lost his cool, screaming for help like his life depended on it because, well, it actually did, while everyone watching outside was losing their minds. But hold up. Just when it looked like he was about to become a human pancake, a hand reached out from the chaos, grabbed him by the collar, and snatched him back from the brink. Siron gripped that collar tight, gritting his teeth and pushing his speed to the absolute limit to outrun the maze's crushing walls. Seeing Siron pull off that clutch save, the entire 7th class crew went wild. Our boy was actually safe. All thanks to Siron's quick moves. Then, one student piped up, totally killing the vibe by asking, wait, isn't this still a competitive exam though? Like, why would he save the guy he's supposed to be beating? Before she could even finish, another student shut her down immediately. Are you serious right now? Who cares about a trophy when someone's about to get deleted right in front of your face? Honestly, the leaderboard was the last thing on anyone's mind once they realized how Siron actually pulled off that save. How in the world did he pull off a teleportation stunt like that? Meanwhile, Mar was still up there flailing around, begging for his life. Siron, officially done with the noise, finally snapped at him to shut up so he could actually focus on not getting them both killed. He realized these traps were basically a massive hallucination, meaning he had to see through the BS to find a way out. Step 1. Get some height. Trying to solve a genius-level puzzle while carrying human dead weight was exhausting, but Siron went full light speed and blasted toward the ceiling. But the traps weren't letting go, they were literally hunting them down, making the climb up feel like a total dead end. The students watching from below realized that just flying higher was a losing game. They screamed out warnings as the maze closed in, and while Siron knew just running away was useless, his brain was scrambling for a better plan. He needed a miracle, and fast. Then, boom, a crazy idea flashed through his mind. He knew exactly what he had to do. Forget running away. It was time to dive straight back into the fire. Without a second thought, Siron pulled a full U-turn with Mar in tow, making Eriki pump his fist and shout, "Yes, always charging forward is for losers. Sometimes, the only way to win is to go back to where it all started." Watching Siron pull off these high-tier moves, his classmates were standing there with their jaws on the floor, totally confused. I mean, it had only been a single month. Did this guy really level up this much just by training solo? Everyone thought he was just a nepo baby who couldn't even cast a basic spark. But man, were they wrong. Go on, show him what you've got. All the hate was gone, replaced by the whole school screaming for him to dodge the incoming disaster. Serial watched in awe, finally realizing that Siron wasn't just grinding for some midterm grade, this was about something way bigger. Amy nodded along, knowing that all those sleepless nights of training weren't just for a stupid certificate. See, this exam was just one tiny step on his path to becoming a legend. He didn't want the clout. He wanted the power of a true mage. Over in the control room, Master Seal kept it cool, trying to talk some sense into a spiraling Maria. Look, competition is just a tool to keep you moving, but speed doesn't matter as long as you cross that finish line and earn your staff. As the master's words echoed, the teachers, the students, and even the big-shot principal were left completely speechless by Siron's display. Watching Siron dance through the maze, Maria finally felt the weight of her choices, whispering, "Is it too late to fix things?" Seeing that his pep talk actually worked, Master Seal just gave a small, encouraging smile. "I've got your back, but you've got to find that spark of courage yourself." His words were exactly the boost she needed to stop running. Maria just broke down right there, partly from the guilt of what she'd done, but mostly from the massive relief of finally letting go. Back in the arena, the principal shocked everyone by ordering the exam to keep going, making Sienna and the other teachers do a double take. He didn't blink, boldly stating he'd take the fall for whatever happened next, as the crowd's roar reached a fever pitch. "Don't stop now. Watch out." With eyes locked on the goal, Siron charged straight into the danger zone. He was dragging the MC toward a literal magical minefield that was shifting and twisting without any rhyme or reason, making it impossible to track. Our boy Mar was back to his usual self, screaming at the top of his lungs about not wanting to die today. Siron, on the other hand, cold as ice. He was busy calculating every single variable in his head. To see the whole picture, he had to focus everything on a single point, using his unique vision to turn the entire glowing maze into a blueprint. He'd felt this before, that pure, instinctual rush of being hunted, and suddenly, the path to victory opened up right before his eyes. Siron hit the nitro, accelerating past his limits and diving into the maze, leaving nothing but a golden blur in his wake. He threaded the needle through gaps that were closing in milliseconds, moving so fast he was practically a ghost. Inside that chaos, he was like a shark in the water, making the impossible look easy while everyone watching could only stare in total disbelief. Marks out cold, foaming at the mouth like a rabid dog after being dragged along. Ami and Seriel, totally shook by Siron's wild move. Every teacher there is jaw-dropped. Siron is out here flexing on another level, and they're all wondering how. High stakes equal high gains. Anfis realizes that the pure danger of this maze is exactly what's unlocking Siron's hidden beast mode. But here's the kicker, even that old man can't find the ceiling for this kid's potential. He's got no clue where the limit is. No greed, no thirst for glory, just pure flow. Is it possible our boy just straight up has no limits at all? The maze keeps shapeshifting, lunging at him like a predator, but Siren, he's dodging everything like he's living in the Matrix. Anfis is losing his mind watching this play out, because Siren's mind is a total blank slate. No distractions, no clutter, just pure, terrifying focus that shouldn't be possible. Etela's watching like a hawk. She looks cool on the outside, but trust me, she's freaking out internally. Soul field density is at 99.9%. Calculating everything perfectly mid-panic? That's genius, but this test is straight up lethal. Siren clears maze after maze, and with every win, the system just gets nastier and more complicated. He breaks through one impossible challenge, only to see the gaps tighten to just 1 meter. His 10-meter blinks won't work here. He needs a new plan fast. The solution? Slice that instant movement into tenths. Left, right, like a rhythm game played on God mode. His body moves before his brain even finishes the thought. Light speed through tiny cracks. Level up, baby. Next up, the trap level. This time it's a honeycomb mess. Hexagons everywhere. Wanna block my straight path? Siren thinks. Bet. Zero room to breathe. Siren doesn't even flinch, he just slices his movement intervals even smaller. Pure, elite improvisation. Rainbow drop. He actually did it. Iruki screams, nearly scaring the soul out of everyone standing nearby. Wait, did he just bend light? Someone shouts, eyes glued to the screen as Siren ghosts through the maze. Iruki, how's light bending? Light only goes straight. Iruki, being the resident nerd, decides it's time to school them. Basic math, homie. If you divide a circle into tiny enough pieces, it becomes an infinite straight line. He's blinking at 1/1000th of a second. The whole class just starts screaming in disbelief. How does he calculate that in his head? People yell. Calculation? Nah, it's deeper than that. It's instinct. Man, the guy's a total freak of nature, Iruki says, basically calling him a genius beyond logic. Iruki keeps bragging like he's the one doing it, but nobody cares, they're all too busy watching Siren's legendary performance. A genius? More like a monster. Suddenly, the maze starts sprouting living black wires that merge into one giant, pulsing mass. The wires get thicker and thicker, weaving together to build something massive and absolutely terrifying. That's huge. Even Siron is sweating now, looking at this maze-made monstrosity towering over him. The teachers realize what it is and bolt upright in pure horror. Stop! That's the dragon's maze. A pitch-black dragon head, forged from the maze itself, looms over Siron. This is literal nightmare fuel. The maze is still attacking, and Professor, that is nowhere to be found. Sienna is losing her cool. What is he doing? Sienna teleports in a flash of light. Meanwhile, Mark finally wakes up and talk about the worst timing ever. Buddy, where am I? Mark looks up, and yep, there's a giant dragon mouth about to swallow him whole. Cue the high-pitched screaming. Mark is thrashing around in a total panic, but Siren, he's still locked in. Cool, calm, and collected. Gotta memorize the pattern, he mutters, ignoring the chaos. First was the left-hand rotation. While Siron is playing chess with death, Mark is absolutely losing his marbles, crying and begging for his life. I'll be a good person, I swear. Just save me. On the other side, Sienna finally reaches Professor That. She hits the ground running and blasts into the control room, yelling at the top of her lungs. Professor, what's the deal? That looks at her, totally confused. Sienna, what's with the shouting? What's going on? No time. Kill the power. Shut it down now. Wait, he says. Did the exam get canceled or something? That is completely clueless. He legit thought this whole thing was over ages ago. Siren and Mark are still inside the maze. Sienna screams. That's face goes pale instantly. What? Oh, hell no. He dives for the control panel. Suddenly, a frantic voice calls out to both of them from the entrance. It's Etela. She sprints toward them, looking like she's seen a ghost, trying to find the words to explain the chaos. Total chaos. The dragon lunges, swallowing them both whole. Everyone is losing their minds screaming, terrified, too scared to even look. Teachers and students are just standing there, frozen in shock. It all happened in a literal heartbeat. Time just stops. The clock hits 12, and for a split second, the world holds its breath. Then rewind. We're back 1 minute before Etela shows up. Siren's right there, grabbing M's shirt, facing down those massive, terrifying teeth. M is shaking, everyone else is panicking. Ami and Siriel are clutching each other, screaming because they think it's game over. But Siron, he's locked in. He taps into his power, and his eyes start glowing this insane, electric blue. Sweat's pouring down his face, but everything around him is in slow motion. 1 minute before the crash, he's calm. He's seeing the world through a different lens. He's still in the game. Think, think, think. His neurons are firing at 100% capacity, overclocking his brain. 1/10 of a second. A flash of light breaks the barrier. 1% of a second. He sees the path, a literal maze of squares. 9 moves to reach the exit. But then, a fraction of a second later, he hits a wall. A red barrier blocks the light. He's worried he messed up. Siron realizes there's no way out this path for him in March. He has to find a plan B, and he has to find it now. Back to the present. The clock strikes 12, the monster lunges for the kill, and the crowd is absolutely losing it. Ami screams Siren's name. Anfis is about to jump in and use his own power to save them, but then he sees something and stops. A streak of light flashes out of the darkness, like it's clawing its way out of a black hole. Massive explosions rip through the sky. Everyone on the ground starts running toward the light, shouting, "No way, no freaking way. It's impossible, right?" But out of that light, Siren slams into the ground, dragging M with him while everyone just stares. Jaws drop. The rumors start immediately. Did he actually survive? Are we seeing ghosts? People can't believe their eyes. Etela is completely stunned. She just stands there, frozen for a second, before she turns and bolts into the distance. Siren's gasping for air, his brain probably fried. Did I really make it? He can't even remember how he escaped. The bridge's defense system? Completely fried. Level 0. This kid with the spiky hair just blinks and says, "Whoa, that was human-level difficulty? No way." He just crushed a pro-level expert test from the advanced class. Siren's totally wiped out, breathing hard. He finally yells, "Man, I really thought I was dead meat." Everyone's stunned by how casual he is. Siriel actually starts crying happy tears. He did it. He actually did it. Ami just gives a little smile. Pretty cool, she thinks. A guy who's actually that strong doesn't need to brag. Suddenly, the crowd swarms Siron, cheering him on. "You're a beast, man. That was insane. You're heading straight to 5th year. The seniors are gonna be so salty." Then, the professors teleport in, looking confused as hell. Did Siren really pass? Sienna groans, sounding like she's regretting every life choice. "I missed the best part because Professor That was rambling," she complains. That's just like, "Hey, I did my best." Sienna snaps at him for being useless, leaving That's feelings totally crushed. "Anyway," she says, "since you both finished at the same time, we need to double-check. Principal, who actually won?" she asks, but he's just staring off into space. Anfis is totally zoned out. Sienna calls him again. "Principal Anfis?" Meanwhile, he's thinking, was I just worrying about nothing? He looks at Siren and thinks, I'm just glad you showed them the light. The Milch family light. That catches Anfis's expression. He's thinking about the title given to the man who defined photons, the guy the king gave the Golden Circle Award to. Sienna's getting worried. Is he okay? What's with that look? For a second, even the principal feels a tiny bit of jealousy at Siren's raw talent. That steps up, hand over his heart, bowing deep. "Principal, give us the verdict. I think the future of this academy just walked through the door." Anfis finally laughs. Right. Sorry, got a bit distracted there." He's looking at his student and feeling a bit bitter about how pure Siren's love for magic is. "I'm almost jealous of that innocence," he thinks. Looking at the scene, he still can't believe in fate. Anfis clutches his pendant, lost in thought. It's been a long, long time since my heart beat this fast. Standing in front of everyone, Amphius makes the announcement. Only one person gets in, but you all showed some serious guts today. The courage you showed will light the way for a brighter future for this world. The one who passed today is Arian Siron. The crowd goes wild, but Siron, he's just standing there, looking like a total zombie. Suddenly, a figure starts walking out of the crowd. It's March. He's limping, covered in scratches and bruises. People start whispering, "Oh man, is he gonna protest because he was with Siren?" Listen up. It turns out the rookie was the one who pulled off the rescue. And honestly, this whole accident smells totally fishy. Mark is straight up losing it. He's shaking, thinking, how is this even possible? I saw it myself, this kid is a literal genius. Siron drops a terrifying glare on Mark, and the guy just folds. He hangs his head, finally admitting he was dead wrong. Mark keeps going, totally desperate. I'm sorry, Senior. As a mage, I'll take the heat for everything. All of it. Now all the upperclassmen are freaking out, heads down in sync. They shout together, "We messed up. Senior, give us the punishment. We deserve it." Siron is still running on empty, but he manages a smirk. "Fine. I just hope you guys actually mean it." They scramble, shouting, "Yes, sir. Absolutely," while low-key thinking Siren is terrifying. Thank God they apologized when they did. Siren's brain is fried. All he wants is a nap. He mumbles, "Sweet," before calling out to Serial to head out. Serial pauses, confused. "Wait, shouldn't we stay with Siren for a bit? This is a big deal." Ami just cuts her off. "No time." Ami's thinking, he proved himself. Now it's my turn. But suddenly, Siren turns and shouts her name. Ami. Ami freezes, heart racing. Siron points right at her and says, "I kept my promise, didn't I?" He's barely standing, totally out of it. But he adds, "Just you wait. I'm gonna catch up to you real soon." Ami is stunned. The crowd, absolutely losing their minds. Shouting a girl's name like that? They're all thinking, damn, Siren is too cool. Ami is literally moved to tears right there. Too bad Siron won't remember a single second of this legendary flex when he wakes up. Siron finally got promoted to Class 5. Meanwhile, elsewhere, Etela is hunting for something, looking totally stressed. "Something's wrong," she mutters. "I know Synesthesia was chasing Siron. Did she seriously lose him in that dragon maze?" Cut to a fancy-looking room, the disciplinary committee. Things are getting serious. They've called a major meeting. That is holding the violation report while Maria stands behind him, head down, confessing to everything. She's ready to take the hit. But then, plot twist. Siren, Mar, and even the gatekeeper Brad, the ones who actually got hit by the sleep spell, step up. They tell the committee straight up, "We don't want Maria punished. They're not looking for revenge at all." Other students start feeling the vibe too. They begin admitting their own screw-ups, even coming clean about what happened during Siron's test. Behind Mar, student after student stands up to confess. The whole room is heating up with this crazy, honest energy. Siren looks at Mar, thinking, is he actually trying to keep his word about taking responsibility? Amphius finally speaks up. Maria's situation was unlucky. She didn't use that device to actually hurt anyone, he notes, his voice echoing through the hall. He puts on his serious face and says that rules are rules, punishment is coming. Siren steps forward, hand on his chest. "Then punish me too. I ignored the signal to stop the exam and went into the maze anyway. Plus, I'm the one who dragged Mar into danger." Amphius rubs his eyes. He never expected to see this much backbone and honor in this school. That Near realizes this has gone way beyond what the principal planned. Every single student is bowing their head, asking for punishment. These kids used to be blinded by ego and petty jealousy, but not anymore. To become true mages with actual dignity, they're finally owning their mistakes. That sighs, remembering when he first met the principal. Who knew teaching like this would actually work? Amphius slams his gavel down. Boom. Judgment is set. The students burst into tears, crowding around Maria and apologizing for everything. Sienna starts writing down the violation slips for everyone. This is a first in the school's history. Literally everyone in the room is getting penalized at the same time. The records show Mo Lang Maria, 19 years old, Class 7. Result: 2-month suspension. Sater Mark, 15 years old, Class 7, also suspended for 2 months. Most others get 1 month, but for Siron, he just has to write a reflection essay. Sienna looks back at the moment Siron took the blame. She asked him, "Siron, why go into the maze when you saw the signal?" Siron just said, "I didn't want to lose. All I could think about was solving it. Honestly, the rest is a blur." Sienna smiles. "You've got a wild side I didn't see coming, especially since you look like such a good kid." On Siron's official record, he's officially moving up to Class 5. Is it just 'cause he's the guy? Back at Siron's place, he's snoring like a chainsaw, totally wiped out. But in his dreams, someone's calling him. "Siron, Siron." Suddenly, a voice screams about the dragon maze. A flash of light erupts, and he's flying a literal beam of pure energy. Focus. More focus. His eyes snap open. Remembering all those judging glares, he thinks, "I'll erase myself. I'll disappear." He recalls everything, visualizing his soul shattering into tiny fragments, dissolving into the world until he becomes the world itself. Siron charges forward. "I am becoming." The space around him starts to crack and splinter. He keeps pushing, faster and faster, as reality itself shatters into infinite pieces all around him. 1 second, he's free-falling into a literal void of nothingness. Pure nightmare fuel. Siron's heart absolutely hammering as he plunges into the dark. Then bam, a piano melody hits, and Siron snaps awake. Talk about a wake-up call. He's just sitting there like, wait, is it morning already? He throws on his uniform and fumbles with his tie, feeling totally out of it. His brain is a blank slate, and honestly, everything just feels weirdly difficult today. He grabs a notebook, the one Ami lent him. It's basically his holy grail for memorizing all those complex magic laws. He's flipping through the pages, planning to return it in their joint class. He really wants to pay her back for having his back, but then, wait. He sees something in the notes that leaves him completely clueless. Cut to training hall number 2. Siron spots Ami and calls her over. Ami looks like a ball of nerves, while Sariel just gives a casual wave. "Yo, Siron, you holding up okay?" Siron just grins and holds out a massive basket of apples for them. "Gotta thank you guys for everything," he says, being a total gentleman. Ami's just staring at the fruit like, wait, apples? Siron hands the notebook back. Mission accomplished. He drops a line about her liking apples, no creeping intended, but Ami's internally screaming. "Apples? I'm a cherry girl. Since when did I like apples?" She starts frantically flipping through her notebook. She finds a little note. "How do I say this? It's a timing thing. Should I just say sorry?" Then it clicks. In Korean, the word for apple and apology is the same. It's a pun. Ami turns beet red, screams at the top of her lungs, and just bolts. "Whatever," she yells while running. Sariel's shouting after her like, "Hey, class is starting," leaving the guys standing there like, what just happened? Sirion's just blinking, totally lost. Sariel chases after her, and eventually, Ami crushes her exams and levels up to the graduation class. But hey, even for a certified genius, there are some problems that a high IQ just can't fix. 1 month later, the Class 7 kids are back from their suspension. They start cheering, "Yo, big bro, we saved a seat for you right here." Siron's caught totally off guard. He's all flustered, telling them, "Guys, seriously, you don't have to do all that." It's the weirdest thing. Every single time they have a joint class, these Class 7 kids are treating him like some kind of legend. Everyone remembers that terrifying look he gave once, and now they're acting like model students. He's accidentally become the scary senior. Suddenly, a voice drops in, "Got room for one more? Junior?" He looks up and recognizes the voice instantly. "Oh, definitely. Sister Sariel, please, take a seat." Sariel teases him immediately. "Aw, your cute girlfriend isn't here, So you've lost your spark. Huh? Siren just gives a nervous laugh. Pretty sure you're the lonely one, sis. You two were basically joined at the hip, he adds. Sariel just nods. True. That's actually why I'm pushing to get into the graduation class myself. Siron's jaw drops. For real? Sariel explains that she was going to play it safe and live a normal life. But watching him and Ami fired her up. She feels like she's been wasting her youth and it's time to actually do something big. Then she drops a bomb. Ami wants to be a soldier. Siren's stunned. A soldier? Like, she's going to war? Sariel just sighs. Are you two even actually dating? Siren's spiraling, worried sick. But isn't that incredibly dangerous? Things are chill in Tomia right now, but if a war actually kicks off, Sariel cuts him off. Look, if the world goes to hell, every mage has to step up. That's the trade-off for all the perks and freebies we get as students. Plus, Ami's a sniper mage. She'll be doing the sneaky, long-range stuff behind the scenes. Doesn't that sound badass? Sariel asks. The beautiful and deadly secret agent Ami. Siron pictures it and relaxes a bit. True. Why am I even worried about the top student anyway? He waves goodbye to Sariel. Once you hit Class 5, everyone starts stressing about their future careers as mages. Having a specialty is everything. But is that the only reason everyone's so tense? It's a touchy subject, especially for the kids struggling with their grades. Suddenly, a guy calls out to him, Yo, Siren, training again? If you hit a wall, just hit me up, okay? It's Nay, an absolute social butterfly. Siren's actually super grateful for him, since Siren isn't exactly the life of the party type. Nay's grades are just average, but the guy is a beast with lightning magic. He's all around capable, and his vibe? Anything but friendly when he's serious. Nay catches Siren sighing and calls him out on it. Siren's just thinking about how everyone has their own thing they're good at. Class 5 is a whole different world compared to Class 7. Everyone feels so much more grown up. Suddenly, he hears two voices whispering behind him. Yo, Siren, listen to this. What do you think? Siren's confused when he hears his and Nee's names being tossed around. Nay just goes, Say what now? Some guy with neat hair pipes up. I'm telling you, it's a hard pass for me. Siren's wondering what kind of high-level debate they're having. Is it magic, chemistry, literature? He's worried he won't be able to keep up and they'll think he's a loser. So, Professor Etela or Professor S.A., who's the better waifu? Siren's eyes nearly pop out of his head. His jaw is literally on the floor. He's standing there completely traumatized. Are we seriously talking about girls right now? Nay lets out a massive sigh and drops his voice low. Why would you even ask that? Siron looks at him thinking, finally, someone with some sense. But Nay isn't finished. Nay scowls, totally offended. I am ride or die for Team Professor Sienna. Siron is screaming internally, holding his head like he just got hit with a ton of bricks. Nee's standing there, arms crossed, yelling, Don't you guys realize Professor Sienna is the ultimate elegant genius? Just as the drama starts heating up, the guy across from him snaps back with some major attitude. Nah, you're trippin'. Professor Etela is the only one who gives off that ultimate must-protect vibe. Poor Siron is standing there caught in the middle of this absolute train wreck of a debate, thinking to himself, man, teenage boys are literally the worst. Suddenly, a voice cuts through the noise right at him. Yo, Siren, what's your take? He freezes, jaw hitting the floor as his brain short-circuits. My take? Put on the spot like that. Siren starts spiraling. Okay, think fast. If I want a normal school life, I gotta learn how to vibe with the homies, right? But then he feels it. 3 pairs of eyes cold, sharp, and straight up murderous, staring him down like he's prey. The pressure is unreal. Having to pick a side in this petty war is basically a death sentence, and he knows it. But both professors are legends. How am I supposed to choose? He clenches his fists, takes a breath, and tries to sound confident. Look, for me, he stops mid-sentence, totally confused. The guys who were just ready to scrap over their favorite teacher are suddenly acting like they saw a ghost. backing away slowly and looking awkward as hell. Sorry man. We'll catch you later. They bolt. Siren is left standing there like a statue. Wait, was my answer really that bad? Did I kill the vibe that hard? Nay, who was standing right behind him, just rolls his eyes and points the other way. Nah, it's not you. It's because of that guy. Then Nay shouts out, Yo, Iruki. His eyes go ice cold as he looks toward the newcomer. Enter Iruki, one hand on his chin, the other casually shoved in his pocket, walking like he owns the place. He acts totally oblivious, wearing this smug look. What's everyone so hyped about? Sounded like a party. Nay just sighs, looking completely done with life. Same old story. Man, just another debate over which professor is the GOAT or whatever. Realizing these guys are basically overgrown kids, Nee decides to shut it down and introduces them. Siren, meet Iruki. Iruki, Siren. Siren's head is spinning. This guy's mood shifts faster than a mood ring, he thinks, before giving a super awkward, hey there. Nee keeps the intro going. First time meeting, right? Iruki here is basically the Class 5 resident weirdo. Iruki reaches out a hand, his eyes sharp enough to cut glass as he locks onto Siron. Nice to finally meet the legendary Arian Siron. I've heard the rumors. I mean, who in this school doesn't know you at this point? Siron is dazed, reaching out to shake his hand while staring at Iruki like he's trying to solve a puzzle. That voice. It hits him like a lightning bolt. Suddenly, he remembers a shadowy figure telling him, don't overthink it. If you want to do something, just do it. The memory of that voice is ringing in his ears, clear as day. You came here to be a mage, didn't you? Back then, Siren was just standing there like an idiot wondering, wait, who was that guy? Now, the light bulb finally goes off. He grabs Iruki's hand with both of his, looking hyped as hell. It was you. Seriously, thank you. I only figured out that redirection form because of what you said. Iruki actually looks stunned for a second, staring down at his captured hand, totally speechless. Siren doesn't care, he's just grateful. Really, thanks for helping me out back there. After a long, awkward silence, Iruki finally looks him in the eye and smirks. Wow, you're actually kind of a boring guy, aren't you? Asterisk emotional damage. Asterisk Siren freezes, his brain lagging. Wait, what? Nee jumps in immediately to pull them apart before things get weirder. Nee gives Siron a don't mind him look. Ignore him, he's always got a smart mouth. Then he turns to Iruki, hands up. Bro, watch your tone. What kind of greeting was that? Iruki just scratches his head, acting like he didn't just insult the guy. What? That was a compliment. Obviously. He starts walking away but looks back over his shoulder with a teasing glint in his eyes. Anyway, good luck, kid. Class 5 is packed with nothing but freaks and weirdos. Watch your back. Nay shouts after him, Yo, where you going? We still have class. Iruki doesn't even slow down, just tossing back 3 words. Can't be bothered. Siren's jaw drops. He's actually floored by this guy's confidence. He really just ditched magic class because he can't be bothered. Is he for real? With Iruki gone, Nay just sighs and rubs the back of his head. Sorry about that. He's always a loose cannon. But trust me, he's a decent guy once you get used to the crazy. Siren just blinks, still processing. He's definitely unique. Nay nods. Yeah, trying to understand that guy is a full-time job. But honestly, the guy is a straight-up genius. Nee stops, hesitating for a second. The only problem is, he's a genius in the weirdest way possible. Siren's eyes go wide. Wait, Iruki is a genius? Suddenly, the hallway erupts in whispers and shouts. Yo, look, it's Iruki again. Why is he heading toward the field? What's he doing on the platform? A massive crowd starts forming, everyone staring at him. One guy shouts out, no way. He's not gonna strip and lie down there again, is he? Siron is losing it. Wait, strip? Beside him, Ne facepalms so hard it probably left a mark. Oh God, not again. What is he up to now? Come on, we gotta see this. Up on the high platform, Wind starts whipping around Aruki's legs as a massive magic circle begins to glow. This is about to get insane. Then, right from where he stood, raw power started blasting outward in every single direction. Glowing magic circles began spinning like crazy right beneath Aruki's feet. Our boy just stood there, one hand in his pocket, cool as ice, watching a beam of blue energy skyrocket into the clouds. Siren and the others could only stare, jaws hitting the floor. Siren was losing it, wondering if Aruki was really rerouting mana that fast. It was basically a cheat code. That massive blue energy beam started swirling into this giant, terrifying vortex right over the heads of the other students. Half the class looked like they were about to pass out from fear, but then a voice cut through the silence. "Man, this is a masterpiece every time I see it." Another voice chimed in, saying nobody else in the whole kingdom could pull this off. Aruki just smirked snap and made his move. Suddenly, 8 blue target circles popped up all over the ceiling. Everyone looked up, whispering and wondering what the hell was happening. "Wait, are those targets?" A teacher from the 4th grade class next door heard the noise and poked her head out, completely gasping in shock. She didn't waste a second and screamed at the top of her lungs for Aruki to stop right now. Up on the ceiling, those blue circles started sprouting tiny wings and moving around. They had these inner rings that looked exactly like creepy, unblinking eyes. Aruki pressed his thumb and pointer finger together, his eyes glowing with a cold, blue light. "Ignite!" A voice suddenly screamed out a warning for everyone to get down. The room turned into pure chaos as people scrambled to save their own skins. Everyone was shouting, "This kid is a total psycho." They were too busy running for their lives to notice a sword piercing right through one of those blue eye drones. The drones started glowing like crazy on the ceiling, making everyone even more terrified than they already were. Then, boom, a massive, earth-shaking explosion went off right over their heads, filling the room with thick purple smoke and screams that could break glass. Siron was the only one who didn't run, standing there like a statue while the purple smoke blew his hair back. Aruki's laugh echoed through the room. He raised a hand, looking Siron right in the eye. "Catch you later," he said, before vanishing into the smoke. Suddenly, the teacher appeared out of nowhere, grabbed Aruki by the ear, and started dragging him away while fuming with rage. "You little delinquent? Your last suspension barely ended and you're already causing a riot?" Aruki just winced, following her hand because it hurt like hell. "I didn't break the machine though. You know I didn't do it. Teach." Aruki tried to defend himself, but she wasn't having any of it. "Zip it. You're suspended for 3 days. Got it." Aruki didn't even look surprised. He just asked if that was really all, like he'd done this a million times. Then the narrator's voice kicked in, talking about how Aruki was the biggest weirdo in 5th grade. Right now, he looked like some untouchable high society boss, sitting on his desk with his legs crossed and hands behind his head. The voice continued, saying his social skills were absolute zero and his personality was, well, average at best. But the reason everyone calls Aruki a genius is because he's a total specialist. On his midterms, he pulled a big fat 0 in every social studies class. But for the science and math stuff, a perfect 100 every single time. It's what people call savant syndrome. Savant syndrome is this wild thing where, sometimes after a brain injury heals up, the patient starts showing abilities that are light years beyond a normal person. Basically, Aruki is the undisputed king of all things science. You can practically see his nervous system lighting up with firing neurons whenever he's thinking. Think about it, he can calculate exactly what happens in extreme environments, from way below 0 to over 100 degrees. He could even tell you what day it is 40,000 years from now. If he really wanted to, I bet he could count the digits of pi until his dying breath. However, when it comes to everything else, the voice trailed off as the literature professor turned beet red, shaking a test paper in total fury. "Aruki, do you think my authority as a professor is some kind of joke? It's absolutely ridiculous that you turned a literature essay into a freaking math problem." Question 2 asked for the meaning of a poem about shivering leaves falling, and Aruki basically wrote a physics paper on air resistance and vector forces. He actually sat there and wrote out a whole model equation for the surface of a leaf and solved a mountain of math problems on a literature test. The professor slammed his hand on the desk, screaming that this was a literature exam, not a math competition. Aruki just sat there, staring at his own test paper, which the professor had blown up on the giant screen for the whole class to see. The professor kept ranting, "You think you're some big-shot genius, don't you? But there are plenty of things you can't explain with numbers, like deep imagery or actual human emotions." Araki didn't even look bothered. He just cleaned his ear with his pinky, looking bored out of his mind. "But Professor, there's nothing I can't explain with numbers." He shot a sharp look back at the professor and kept going. "If we can't explain the world using actual logic, then how are we supposed to survive in a place this terrifying?" Then he literally pokes his own nose just to mess with the professor, and man, her face looks like it's about to blow sky high. He just chills, crosses his arms, and shrugs. "See that rage on your face? That's just a chemical reaction happening inside your body. Teach." The professor just glares at him, absolutely livid. Aruki keeps going, calling it an emotional imbalance. He explains how her nerves are fried from stress and her blood pressure is bouncing around like crazy. Then he drops the science. Her blood vessels are dilating, turning her face bright red. If they constricted, she'd turn blue and the veins would pop. The professor has officially lost it. She looks like a straight-up demon, gritting her teeth and screaming at the top of her lungs. "Get out." Her voice literally rattles the entire building. "Get out. You're getting a 0. 0. 0. You hear me?" Siren is just standing there, completely shook. Wow, this guy actually has the brass to say whatever he believes with that much confidence. He's thinking, no way we're the same age. Some people are just built different. He just sits there, chin in hand, feeling awkward for his friend. Turns out, the professors used to try and encourage Aruki, but eventually, everyone just gave up on him. Araki just kicks his legs up, totally unbothered. "But who would have thought he'd be curious about you? That's a plot twist. I was actually pretty hyped when you talked to me." Siren just gives a weak laugh. "Yeah, I get it," he thinks. But he's still stressing. He taps his chin, getting serious. "Man, I really need to level up my knowledge base." While he's lost in thought, a girl walks up and clears her throat. "Excuse me?" Both guys spin around to see what's up. It's this girl with long hair, looking all shy and nervous while staring at Siron. "Siron, would you maybe want to join our research group?" She sounds totally hopeful. "Siron?" She explains they're digging into teleportation magic. Since Siron is a beast at photon magic, having him on the team would basically finish their project overnight. Then she adds a little sweetener to the deal. "If you join, you won't have to waste your break on those annoying performance reviews. Plus, we could, you know, study together." Siren looks super awkward. "Sorry, but my grades are kind of trashed right now. I really need to focus on catching up first. So yeah, I'm gonna have to pass." "Sorry." The girl sighs. "Well, nothing we can do about that, I guess. If you change your mind, let me know." She heads back to her squad, giving him one last look. "The door's always open if you want in." Siren just turns back to his table with a polite, squinty-eyed smile. "Right. Thanks anyway." He waves them off with that same awkward grin. Once they're gone, Aruki starts laughing his head off. "Man, that was embarrassing. That research group is actually kind of a big deal. But hey, you've got Senior Ami, so those guys probably look like small fry to you." "Huh?" Siren is just confused. "Wait, what does that have to do with anything?" He shifts gears back to his own problems. "The real issue is that I'm still a total noob when it comes to the basics." He's still stinging from those low midterm scores. Just bumping his GPA up feels like a boss fight at this point. "Research groups are a pipe dream for me right now." Aruki starts teasing him, acting all jealous. "Must be nice being popular. Hey, don't you have a group? With your skills, I bet you're in a top-tier squad." Aruki just grins. "Me? Oh, I've got a group all right." Siren blinks in surprise, and Aruki drops the bomb. "Actually, I'm the leader." Siron lets out a massive, depressed sigh and hangs his head. Aruki panics, waving his hands around. "Hey, it's not a big group. Don't make it weird." There are literally only two of us. Our funding even got slashed. He tries to explain it to Siron. All the seniors graduated, so I basically just inherited the title by default. Siren's eyes go wide. Wait, graduated members? Actual graduates were part of your group? Suddenly, a light bulb goes off in Siren's head. If a group had graduates in it, that means it's got some serious legacy and potential. Hey, if you don't mind, could I check out your lab? They head out to the edge of the woods, and Aruki sounds surprised. Siren, I thought you weren't into the whole research thing? Siren shrugs. I am. I just didn't want to be dead weight for anyone else. Aruki laughs. What? Our group isn't that intense, man. We mostly just vibe and learn as we go. Welcome to the headquarters, Aruki says, leading Siren toward their workspace. It's pitch black and looks super creepy. Siren's like, what exactly am I looking at here? Aruki introduces it as the Istar Magic Storage, a high-tech facility used for student training. Standing in front of this massive, hollowed-out black cube in the middle of the forest, the two of them look like tiny ants. This place is state-of-the-art, Aruki says. You just pop your gear into one of these blocks, and it automatically zips it to whatever room you need. Siren let out a heavy sigh, looking like his soul just left his body. Seriously? This is it? A storage closet? Seeing the disappointment on Siren's face, En started panicking. Wait. I know it looks rough, but trust me, the inside is built different. You're gonna flip. They stepped into the lab, and En didn't waste a second starting the grand tour. This place is sacred, man. My seniors went through hell and back to protect it. Siren raised an eyebrow. For real? This dump? Can I actually expect anything good here? En.The. Obviously. En grinned. Prepare to have your mind blown by what's waiting inside. Suddenly, the camera cuts to a hand moving like lightning, scratching chalk across a blackboard while weird noises echo through the room. As they walked, En tossed his bag over his shoulder and shot Siron a smirk. Every other club was thirsty for this spot, you know. The upperclassmen had to straight up scrap to keep the keys to this place. Siren paused at a fork in the path, looking skeptical. En looked back, flashing a wide, toothy grin. The best part? We basically have a free pass to use everything in here however we want. Siren blinked. Isn't that against the rules? We're gonna get busted. En just looked at him and explained that the room's layout literally shifts every time you find something you're looking for. Before he could finish, he vanished deeper into the shadows. Siren hesitated but finally stepped over the yellow caution line marked with a big number 7. En kept walking, one hand in his pocket and the other gripping his bag, wearing a smirk that said he knew exactly what he was doing. Nobody's finding us here. We're off the grid. Siren followed behind, his jaw slowly dropping. A hideout where nobody can track you? Siren's head was spinning. En threw his arms out wide. Welcome to our very own research sanctuary. Siron was speechless, his mouth hanging open like a total amateur. He let out a confused, high-pitched noise. Right there on the door sat a crusty, ancient-looking sign that read, "The Supernatural and Paranormal Science Research Lab." Siren's eyes nearly popped out of his head. Supernatural and paranormal science? He stood there like a statue. Paranormal stuff? In a literal magic academy? But En was still hyped as hell. So, what do you think? Straight fire, right? En's voice was dripping with pure excitement. We're talking ghosts, spirits, the whole deal. Past lives, aliens, hell, God, you name it. If it's weird, we're researching the hell out of it. Siren stood behind him, pale as a sheet and shaking like a leaf. Yeah, I definitely joined the wrong club, he thought. I mean, I like weird stuff, but this is on a whole other level of crazy. Suddenly, bam, a door creaked open and a massive explosion rocked the room, though luckily nobody got vaporized. The shockwave sent Siron's hair and clothes flying. What the hell was that? En just laughed, eyes crinkling. Relax. Just a little dust, man. You'll get used to the explosions in no time. It's part of the charm. Siren was hacking up a lung, glaring at En through the smoke. Why do I need to get used to it instead of us just cleaning it up? Then, he saw something in the shadows. There, hunched over a blackboard, was a figure scribbling frantically. It was Aruki, and he looked like he was in the middle of a fever dream. Siren blinked. Wait, Aruki, you're here too? N tilted his head back, acting all mysterious. Our group is kind of a big deal, notorious, even. We have to keep the roster on the low. That's why I couldn't tell you before. Siren was lost. Since when does Aruki care about ghosts and UFOs? Aruki heard them and chimed in without even looking up. It's the opposite, actually. I joined to prove all this supernatural junk is fake. N whispered. He's the perfect bait to lure in the logical geniuses who think they know everything about the world. Aruki's eyes were glowing with manic energy as he turned around. Wait, is that Siren? He lunged forward and grabbed Siren's hands. What brings a certified genius like you to this humble basement? This is perfect. You have to hear this. I've stumbled onto something huge. Siren could only stammer, completely overwhelmed by the guy's energy. Aruki kept going, his face inches from Siren's. When you break down matter, you're left with atoms, right? Basic stuff, yeah? But get this, I think even atoms can be smashed into even smaller particles. If we did that, what do you think would be inside? Siren fumbled for an answer, totally caught off guard. Well, I'm not entirely sure, but maybe there's some kind of hidden, massive energy tucked away in there. Aruki started shaking Siren's hands like he just won the lottery. Exactly. I knew you were the goat. I can't believe you actually saw that far ahead. Siron was sweating bullets. Wait, did I actually get that right? He wondered. Aruki was basically vibrating with joy. Yes, there's so much raw energy in there, it could probably level an entire city in one shot. Just imagine what happens next. Siren's brain was short-circuiting. He looked at Aruki, horrified. What? His expression went dead serious as he realized the implications. People would get seriously hurt. Aruki just stands there, casually digging for gold in his nose with his pinky before dropping a cold. Bro, what are you even yapping about? Then he points that same finger right at Siron's face, looking like a total straight-up psycho, talking about some massive hidden energy. You really think I give a damn about any of that? Siron's eyebrows practically hit the ceiling. He's floored. What? Do you even hear yourself right now? Then, he loses it and starts shouting. The headmaster literally drilled it into our heads. If you're going to be a mage, you have to actually care about the chaos your magic leaves behind in this world. Poor Nor is just standing in the back, watching these two ready to rip each other's throats out, and he has zero clue how to stop the bleeding. Siren's voice is getting louder by the second. So what? You think it's totally fine to sacrifice everyone else just to satisfy your own twisted ego? Aruki just casually fishes a cherry stem out of his drink, looking bored out of his mind. Seriously, man, you are such a buzzkill. Siren, my guy? He holds the cherry up to his eye level, looking right through it with a nasty little smirk. You think other mages know about this and just choose not to do it? Wrong. They don't do it because they can't. They simply don't have the juice. He pops the cherry into his mouth and mumbles, "That massive brain of yours was a gift from the universe to actually get something done." Siren is vibrating with pure rage now. I don't care if we're freaking geniuses or not. That doesn't give us a free pass. If being a genius means hurting people, then I'd much rather be a harmless idiot. Seriously. Aruki is leaning back, chewing that cherry like he hasn't a care in the world. Then he cuts his eyes down at Siron with a mocking grin. The elite few lead the masses of idiots. History proved it, and that's exactly the world we're living in right now, buddy. God, I absolutely loathe your idealism crap. Siren's face goes stone cold as he growls right back at him. Nah, your whole logic just reeks of a loser who's already given up. The tension is so thick you could cut it with a blade. So Nor finally snaps, he jumps right between them, waving his arms like a madman to stop the explosion. Okay. Great talk. Super interesting. Very deep. Nor is sweating bullets, glancing at Aruki who's acting like he doesn't even see Siren anymore. But hey, getting all emotional and fighting like this isn't helping anyone, right? Let's just chill. Come on, sit down, have some cake, drink some water. Let's just take a breather. Siren realizes he can't stand being in the same room as this guy for another second. He grabs his bag and heads for the door. I'm done. Nothing left to say. Later, Nor, I'm out. Nor panics, reaching out as Siren storms off. Wait, Siren, hold up. You don't even know the way out of here. Eriki just rubs his nose, sounding totally heartless. He can just leave the way he came in. If he can't even handle that, he really is a certified moron. Nor wheels around, absolutely fed up. Dude, seriously? Why do you have to be such a jerk? You're smart enough to explain things in a way he'd actually understand. So why push him away? Iruki just plops down on the sofa like he owns it. Fine. I'll admit it, I went a little overboard. He crosses his arms, kicks his legs up, and lets out a sharp, arrogant little laugh. But it's because that guy, he's my rival. Nor just stares at him, totally lost. Wait, you did all that on purpose? And since when do you even use the word rival? I thought the only things you cared about in this world were math and numbers. Iruki pushes his hair back, leaning his head against the wall with this look of pure, unadulterated pride. It's exactly because I only care about numbers. You saw what Siren did during the promotion exam, didn't you? Nor's eyes go wide. The teleportation test? Of course I remember. That's why he's ranked right up there with us. Eriki looks up at the ceiling, getting all philosophical. Think about it. For someone who just learned how to blink, do you have any idea how fast your brain has to fire to clear level 10? Especially in the Dragon's Labyrinth? Nor goes dead silent, the stress visible on his face as he hangs on every word. Iruki continues, doing that without splitting time? It's basically impossible. Iruki's voice drops to a whisper, dead serious. In that split second, his brain was cranking out over 10,000 calculations per second. A mental image of Siren's brain lighting up like a supercomputer, connecting to every magical field at once, flashes through Iruki's mind. Nor is shaking now. 10,000 calculations in a single second? You've got to be kidding me. Suddenly, Eriki just drops his head and starts laughing like a complete maniac. That's the mystery of pure insight right there. It's faster than effort and more precise than knowledge. No conscious logic can ever beat the sheer speed of the subconscious mind. Then, just as fast as he went crazy, he turns ice cold and stares Nor down. So, Nor, what about you? Nor frowns for a second, then flashes a sharp, confident grin. I get it. A total war between raw calculation and pure insight, huh? And you want to settle this during the exam, right? Nor thinks back to the determined look on Siren's face as he walked out. The speedcasting exam is going to be wild. The next morning, the academy is buzzing. You can hear the students gossiping from a mile away. The speedcasting test is only 2 weeks away, right? If I fail one more time, I'm never moving up a grade. Inside the classroom where all the noise is coming from, class just ended. Siren is silently packing his bag, listening to everyone freak out. The storm is coming. Yo, you hyped for this or what? Wait, what? Suddenly, the gossip mill starts churning about our boy Siren. He hears his name and freezes mid-pack, ears perked up. That guy's a total beast at the practicals. Right? Man, I bet his score is going to be straight up legendary. Hearing them hype him up just makes Siron's anxiety skyrocket. He's obsessing over the speed raid test. Basically, you spam active magic, snipe targets, and rack up points. Simple, right? Active magic is just the fancy term for spells that actually mess with the world instead of just the caster. Doesn't matter if you're a healer, a tank, or support, everyone's got to take this hit. No excuses. You got to wipe out every target to advance. 3 stages total, 1, 2, and 3, with 10, 11, and 12 targets respectively. Speed and precision? Yeah, those are non-negotiable. If you're slow, you're done. Cut to Siren, sitting stiff as a board and clutching a teacup. He's panicking. Professor, I literally can't control active magic yet. If I'm a dud at basic spells, how am I supposed to pass a high-speed shooting exam? The professor just chills, She tells him he needs at least a 60 to use full-tier magic. His current scores? 41, 40, 41, 42. Major yikes. Meet Orif, she's the Class 5 homeroom teacher and the one currently mentoring our stressed-out hero. She's sipping tea, eyes smiling. But hey, look at the bright side. Your chemistry scores in my class are actually skyrocketing. That's pretty impressive, don't you think? Siren's basically begging for mercy now. We see her office glowing from the outside. Sitting face to face, Sienna is doing her absolute best to hype him up and keep his head in the game. I'm not messing with you. You totally get this stuff. You can optimize every bit of that brain of yours. Siren just sits there, awkward and slouching. And there's one more thing, right? That high-level knowledge that only a total pro would truly grasp. Siren's eyes go wide. He's stunned. Wait, are we talking about the photon decomposition theory? No way. He starts connecting the dots. Teleportation magic is basically just a crazy variation of that photon theory, right? It's a passive spell that literally breaks your body down into tiny particles of light to move around. He thinks back to his last jump. It happened so fast he didn't even feel like it was passive magic. Wait, so this isn't some impossible tech? Passive magic is the good stuff, no time limits, just pure skill for the mage. Siren looks at Sienna, completely floored. I had no idea we could actually use photon theory for active combat magic. She's digging through her desk, searching for something. Actually, the Magic Association just started registering spells like that recently. Siron's brain is buzzing. Photon magic? I hope it looks fire. He remembers how insanely cool Amy looked using her spirit zone. She slaps a folder down in front of him. Take a look. Siren grabs it, his heart starting to race. This is it. My first real active magic spell. He starts flipping through the magic journal like his life depends on it. He hits a page with a big headline, New Discovery, Photon Output. Below the diagrams, it's packed with technical details. The researcher describes photon output exactly like the name suggests. It's magic that uses light as its primary skin. You can basically use it to detect everyone around you. But it's glitchy, not as efficient as regular light magic yet. Then, he looks up, totally skeptical. Siren holds the book up, eyes wide. Professor, are you sure about this? I'll try it for the exam, but I doubt I can pull it off. She sips her tea, looking all calm and wise. Sure, on the surface, it looks pretty much useless. But the idea of using photon output is straight up brilliant. She takes another sip. Light is the fastest thing in the universe. Siron. A golden bolt of light flashes in her mind. Straight lines have one huge advantage: they're incredibly easy to control. Over at the Ivory Tower, the place where the real magic geniuses hang out, they're making some big predictions. They think photon output is going to be a massive breakthrough for communication and data in the future. A massive tower looms in the clouds. Sienna says it's being researched in ways we can't even imagine yet. If they keep grinding and studying this thing properly, it's going to evolve into a massive field by the time you graduate. The potential is just insane. Siren stares at the book, chin in hand, lost in thought. Then he looks up at Sienna. Got it. I'll master this before the rest of the world catches on. A new field of magic? Let's do this, Professor. He figures it'll be a pretty interesting challenge to tackle. Cut 2. Siron deep in the woods, ready to grind. He thrusts his hand out into the air. Nothing. Total silence. Wait. What? He starts waving both hands around like a crazy person. Why isn't this working? Come on. Do something. Siren's staring at his own palm like he's seeing a ghost, clutching his documents in the other hand. He blinks, totally stunned. Are you kidding me right now? I still can't pull this off at my current level? Rough. Turns out he's tucked away in a corner, trying to squeeze in some practice while the rest of the class gets ready. They're at Training Area 32, a massive, open field sitting right at the foot of a mountain, hemmed in by thick forests and jagged hills. Right near the edge, there's a huge spectator stand packed with students. It's the Level 5 Practical Magic class, and the energy is through the roof. Someone thrusts their hand into the air, whispering a single word. Schema. That's the trigger, the classic move to kick off a spell. Siren watches, thinking to himself, obviously, magic doesn't actually shoot out of your hand. It all starts deep within the spirit zone. But still, picturing light particles, photons blasting from your fingertips, it definitely makes the whole casting process feel a lot more natural. He stares at his hands, low-key stressing out. Creating photons is a nightmare. Is it because his spirit zone is a convergence type? Basically like trying to cast magic on hard mode. Suddenly, a woman's voice rings out. "Hey everyone, great to see you. It's Etela." And she is looking different. She walks onto the stage with a huge grin. Ready to jump into today's lesson? The students below just freeze, jaws literally hitting the floor. Wait, who is that? Is that really Professor Etela? And the biggest shocker, where the heck did her glasses go? She's ditched the glasses, clapping her hands together with a gentle, saint-like smile. Siren is just standing there, completely floored. Oh my god, her outfit is absolutely fire. One of the guys is practically vibrating, trying to play detective. She must have just gotten back from some elite training session. Siron turns to him, totally confused. Training? Since when? Where? The guy doesn't miss a beat. Don't you get it? Professor Etela is a high-ranking bishop of the Casis Order. Siren's skeptical. A bishop? You're telling me she's actually a priestess? Another student behind him jumps in to feed the hype. Dead serious. A bishop is a top-tier protector of the 12 holy temples. There are only 12 of them on the entire continent. Period. Etela is practically glowing in her bishop gear, sporting an aura that screams main character. The student's voice keeps rising with excitement. And she's one of them. Because of her insane mental fortitude, the kingdom even gave her the legendary title of Jonet. For those who don't know, Jonet is the ultimate honor given to mages who possess the absolute strongest spiritual power. The student turns back to the field, looking way too proud of himself. See? She looks sweet, but Professor Etela is a literal powerhouse. Nate is already a goner. He's looking at her with total hard eyes, hands clasped together like he's found his new religion. That's it. From today on, I'm officially on Team Etela. He's practically squirming with joy, blushing like a total fanboy. I'm gonna be the best student ever. Perfect scores. All for her. The two guys next to him, just staring, completely speechless. Siron stays quiet, looking away as it all sinks in. Incredible. He never imagined he'd be learning magic from someone this legendary. Etela's on the stage, full of energy. She claps her hands and shouts, "All right, class, are we pumped for the rapid-fire test?" The crowd roars back. Yes. She tells them that before the big test, they're going to have a special practical session today. "Yes, Professor," they shout in unison. Etela stands tall, getting straight to the point. "In today's lesson, we're tackling an advanced technique to boost your overall versatility. And I've even brought in a heavy hitter, a senior from the graduating class, to help us out." The students start buzzing. Wait, a senior? For real? Where is he? Etela's voice booms with excitement. "Please welcome the master of word magic, San Yune. Just so you know, Koto means word and Dama means soul." San Yun walks out, cool and relaxed. "What's up, level 5? He gives a polite bow. "Professor Etela asked me to stop by, so I'm here. Hope I can show you guys something useful. I know this isn't exactly my usual playground, but I'm happy to help. Let's make it count." The female students are absolutely losing it. Screams and cheers everywhere, classic heartthrob entrance. While Sanyun bows, Etela gives them the lowdown. His word magic is directly linked to today's lesson, so they better stay focused. But not everyone is happy. The two guys standing in front of Siron and Nate look like they've just swallowed lemons. "Oh, big deal. A senior," one mutters. The other is literally grinding his teeth. "He's not even on our level, man." Siren just gives them a "really?" look. Nate doesn't hold back. "Bro, since when was he ever on your level?" Sanyun stands on the podium, scanning the crowd. He raises his voice, commanding the entire field. "Word, magic, or Kododama uses the power of language to amplify your mana. It's way easier to just show you than to explain it. He holds his hands out, his blue eyes shifting upward. Here we go. First, check out a standard Dragon Fist Gale. He focuses his spirit zone into his palms, and boom, a swirl of blue energy starts spinning like a sphere. Siren's eyes nearly pop out of his head. Wait, no way. That's the exact same magic the principal showed me when I was just a kid. Talk about a massive nostalgia hit. Boom, out of nowhere, Sanyun drops the hammer. This massive cyclone just erupts, hair flying everywhere, and guess who's standing right in the eye of the storm? This guy. Once the dust settles and the wind chills out, everyone is straight up vibrating with fear. They're whispering like, "Holy hell, that was terrifying. This dude is not playing around." Sanyun just stands there, cool as a cucumber, eyes shut while flipping through his notebook. "Listen up," he says. "That spell, remember that feeling. Now, I'm gonna crank the volume to 11 using Kododama." Then, he starts chanting some ancient, gritty earth magic. Sanyun snaps his bright blue eyes open, looks at his little book, and starts preaching to the heavens. "I'm calling on your power. Take my hand, let's get it." He's going off about sacred temples, ancient lands, and stuff stretching across eternity, basically the ultimate power trip. He's talking about the soul of a mage soaking into the earth, singing songs of praise while sparks turn into a full-blown inferno. At this point, the whole class is shook by his voice. One girl is staring at him with total hard eyes, muttering, "Is he a god?" His voice is literally giving me life right now. Fast forward 3 minutes, and the man is still yapping. He's in the zone, trying to sync his soul with his body or whatever. He's shouting out the names of legendary mages, talking about the savage power of lions and the weight of the entire ocean. He's rambling about the passion of the sun and the earth holding on to 100 million years of wind. Dude is committed to the bit. But here's the thing, 3 minutes of chanting is a long time. The class is literally catching Z's on the floor, while others are just groaning. Is he ever gonna finish? I'm exhausted. Don't you dare sleep on me. Sanyun snaps, his eyes narrowing. He shouts, "Dragon Cyclone," and a vortex of wind explodes from his feet, piercing the freaking clouds. The sheer pressure of it is insane. It's like the wind itself is trying to erase everyone standing there. The spectators, including our boy Siron, start panicking. People are screaming for help as the cyclone's gravity starts tossing them around like ragdolls. Everyone's hanging on by a thread, praying they don't get launched into orbit. They're all thinking the same thing. Welp, this is it. I'm about to meet my maker. Professor Etela just stands there with a sly grin. I noticed you didn't say the words out loud, but you were chanting in your head, weren't you? Sanyun's voice cuts through the chaos. Duh. It's not just about the words, he says. I'm pouring my entire will into every single syllable. I treat them like treasure. That little notebook of his is basically a cheat sheet for epicness. He adds, that's the secret sauce that boosts the mana. Welcome to the basics of Kododama magic, kids. Pay attention. Sanyun closes his eyes again, looking all zen. But honestly, that chant was way too long for a real fight. So, let me show you the sonic speed version. The class is like, wait, again? But he doesn't wait. He just pinches his notebook and whispers, Wild Mother Earth. He looks up at the sky, opens his mouth wide, and just lets out a guttural roar. Grant it to me. Suddenly, he starts rapping the incantations so fast it's just a blur of sound. You can't even tell what he's saying anymore, it's just pure speed. Terror levels hit the roof as the wind turns into a hurricane. Everyone's hair is being pulled so hard they think their scalps are gonna pop off. Sanyun is spitfiring these spells like a professional rapper on double time. His tongue is moving so fast it's honestly kind of a flex. He's got the book in one hand, the other reaching for the sky, looking like a total main character while his hair flies wild in the gale. His blue eyes are practically popping out of his head, bloodshot from the strain. He bellows at the top of his lungs, Dragon Cyclone. 3 words, that's all it took. A massive blast of wind erupts from the ground, soaring so high you could probably see it from miles away. It forms this giant pillar of pure destruction. The surrounding winds are so violent they're literally uprooting trees and shredding the forest. Suddenly, Etela's voice breaks the silence. All right, class. Hope you were taking notes. That's how the big leagues do it. Crickets. Nobody answers because they're all sprawled out on the ground, absolutely wrecked by the shockwaves. Siron pushes himself up, dusting off his hair while trying to see straight. He's thinking, okay, that power? That's actually insane. Is this really the level of a graduating student? He can't stop dwelling on it. A high school graduate mage is officially a level 10 mage. Etela turns around, hands folded, looking way too happy for someone who just caused a natural disaster. Thanks, Sanyun. Sanyun just bows like it's no big deal. Anytime, Professor. Just call if you need more demos. Siren is just watching them, deep in thought. He's starting to realize that if this guy is level 10, then Professor Etela, a level 6 official mage, must be a walking nuke. So this is what the real world looks like, he mutters. Some students are starting to crawl away, while others are still just laying there, defeated. One kid, shaking like a leaf, slowly raises a hand. Professor? Do we have to actually perform that Kododama stuff? She looks down from the podium and laughs. Chill. Kododama is advanced stuff. You guys won't have to touch it yet. You can practically hear the collective sigh of relief from the class. Then she gets serious. Instead, you guys will be practicing measuring order. Measuring order is the technique that builds your versatility by focusing your spiritual energy through counting. Siron raises his hand, dead serious. So, the higher we count, the stronger we get? Is that how it works? The other students are just staring at him like he's crazy. One guy asks, wait, why are we using numbers, Professor? Etela explains, numbers have rules and logic, which makes them perfect for syncing with our spiritual realm. As she says it, her eyes glow a chilling blue. A glowing blue screen flickers to life behind her, covered in floating text. Boom, domain activated, 10-meter radius. Professor Etela's like, look, you're not just here for show. Like Kododama magic, you're giving these numbers a specific meaning. Check this out, she says. It's all about the rules of logic and math, the real boring stuff, right? Wrong. Suddenly, the whole space around Etela is swallowed by this massive 10-meter aura. She's standing in there with a smug grin. I'm opening the spirit realm with a counting technique. Watch, I'll count by tens. Then she closes her eyes and starts. 100. The domain suddenly rips outward, way bigger than before. The students? Total chaos. Wait, did the prof just hit 100? Did she seriously count 1 to 100 that fast? Someone's losing their mind over there. Look, her spirit domain is blowing up. That 10-meter zone just stretched to 12. And then Etela keeps going. 400. 1100. The field keeps growing with every single number. 1700. 2400. She's not stopping. Siron is absolutely floored. He covers his face, thinking, no way, how can a normal human be that fast? The domain just keeps expanding. He's thinking, and she's doing it like it's nothing. No effort at all. He's just standing there, dazed. After she hits 10,000, she finally opens her eyes and takes a breath. Finally, the domain's massive, now covering half the training grounds. Everyone's jaw dropped. Just by counting, her power quadrupled. Etela looks down at her students, who look like they've seen a ghost. You guys catching on yet? Kododama reflects the scene, but this technique uses pure thought. She drops a hint. The faster you count, the more cracked your domain becomes. It's not just about size. The power levels up too. Precision, accuracy, everything gets a buff. This wild spiral of numbers starts raining down. Every single one of your skills? Enhanced. To the max. Our boy Siron's staring blankly. If I master this, I can finally create photons. Etela's voice is just background noise now. But there's a catch. This isn't a cheat code. If your mental focus slips, the effect dies instantly. She's all smiles now. So don't forget, strict discipline and a rock-solid will are the basics for opening your domain. Got it? Everyone shouts, yes, ma'am. A few minutes later, it's chaos as everyone splits up to practice. Siren stands there, frozen for a second. Then he clenches his fist and gives a determined little nod. All right, I hit 1,000 in 60 seconds, he tells himself. But man, muttering these numbers is harder than it looks. Seriously, everyone around him is failing hard. They just can't keep their focus for that long. He thinks, if I hadn't been grinding my mental strength in class, I'd be toast. Then, it clicks. Wait a minute. When I teleport, I use a trick to process complex math instantly. Was that this counting technique all along? Numbers start floating in his head. He realizes he can group them by hundreds and count them all in one go. Big brain moves. A flash of light hits the ground, glowing bright. Siren estimates it took him, what, 10 seconds. He gets serious, holds his palm out. Should I aim for that tree? Let's see what happens. He whispers light in his head, and suddenly his hand explodes. Gold rings of energy spiral straight for the tree before anyone can blink. The light beam streaks across the field, heading straight for that far-off tree. Everyone's like, WHOA. What was that? Where did that light come from? His classmates are literally catching flies with their mouths open. Even Siren's shook. He's frozen in his pose, thinking, whoa, that was actually pretty sparkly. After the move fades, he's just standing there. Okay, maybe that was a bit too extra. From way up high, you see him standing like a statue while everyone else is huddling together, whispering and staring. The gossip starts. Was that a photon blast? Did he seriously learn that just for the rapid-fire test? I mean, it's literally light, so yeah, it's fast as hell. No denying that. One kid sounds skeptical, learning that just for one test is a bit much. Another one replies, yeah, it does 0 damage anyway. Etela's nearby and catches the whole thing. She's stunned. Wait, what? Siron? The guy who only does defense. Just learned active magic? She walks over and calls out, hey, Siron. Looks like you nailed the counting technique. Huh? Siren jumps. Professor. He looks away, acting all awkward. Yeah, I guess so. Etela's grinning. Well then, you want to try it out inside the domain for real? Now everyone's swarming the domain. They see him standing right in the middle. The hype is real. Oh man, is he doing the rapid-fire test right now? I gotta see this. Etela stands by the desk. Once you finish counting, summon your target. Siren looks back. Got it. He takes a deep breath and closes his eyes. It's go time. All right. Focus up. Siren's locking in, using raw mental math to juice up his mana field to the max. Watch this tiny numbers swirl and fuse into one massive core of light before shattering into a million glowing sparks that sink right into his skin. Siren stands tall, snaps his fingers, total main character energy, and his shadow field erupts around him. He closes his eyes, summoning the prey. Boom, ghostly blue targets start popping up everywhere. The scoreboard flickers to life. Speed gun level 0 to 1, score 0 to 0. 1 minute on the clock. Siren's eyes are glowing now, reflecting a literal storm of neon blue targets. He locks on, squinting like these targets owe him money. He pools all that raw mana into his palm, focusing it into one deadly point. Hand out, palm flat toward the floating targets. He's internally chanting the command for light particles. Suddenly, the particles ignite and scream toward the target like a heat-seeking missile. Siron's just standing there with a blank face like, wait, did I just do that? Oh yeah, this is the sweet spot. He realizes that since his shots move at near light speed, it's basically a cheat code. One move and the magic automatically finds its own targets and deletes them from existence. Siren's realizing he's basically aiming and firing at the exact same time. It's insane. Score check. Level 0 to 2, 11 points, and 55 seconds left. The other students are losing their minds. Holy hell, he's fast. Jaws are hitting the floor. Someone's shouting in the back. The second he looks at him, they blow up. It's like some kind of instant trigger magic. Professor Etela's just watching him in silence, nodding to herself. She gets it. Siren's trick is grouping numbers into massive logic combos and just letting them rip. She figures it out. This is a high-level calculation technique once used in ancient wisdom magic. Pure genius stuff. Now the sky above Siren looks like a 4th of July finale with targets exploding everywhere, while a massive magic circle covers the entire arena floor. Etela's thinking this has to be the knowledge he brought back from that unreachable bridge.